Well,
And,
send me the link that I can put on my Instagram.
and what's up, everybody? We are live here. Aaron the dog here with Boston Comments, Bunny of Boston Comments. We are live here for a UFC Breakdown show. I know that my co-host looks a little different than usual, but Bryan Pooh Bear Battle is taking care of some business on The Ultimate Fighter right now. He is in the finale, taking place next week at the Apex, August 28th. August 28th, and we will be back breaking that down. But Bunny, not in the comment section tonight. She is on the show, short notice at that. Bryan found out he had a bunch of media obligations, and you know what? We totally respect that, and we know that he'll be back very soon. Might pop in at some point, might not. We might have some other guests pop in. You know how it is. I never say the guests. I just let them pop in as they do, because technical issues will happen. Fight camp issues, all sorts of issues will happen. And, there we go. And we got Fujifilms, who is a little behind here. He's saying, where are we going? And then Bryan, I think he's got a little mistake in here and needs to clean the glasses. This is not Bryan. We got Bunny here, but close. She's a whole different kind of fighter. We'll put it that way. But without me talking too much more, short notice Bunny stepping in clutch here. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. Seriously, you, just to clarify, you started your tape study this morning. Obviously you were looking into the fights for yourself, but it's a little bit different when we're preparing and we're on live here. So, Madari Akhmedov, our boy Amari's. Did I say you're Amari's cousin, Madali? I don't remember who I said you were, but that would have been a great finale. Trayshawn seems to have some conflicting reports as to what the injury is. I've heard a meniscus. I've heard a thumb. All I know is that Gilbert Urbina is getting it next week by probably a finish from Bryan. And the only thing I'm bummed about is the odds are going to be a little more wide now for when I bet Bryan. So now I just got to invest a little bit more to get it in there. But I'm really, really excited, as I am every week, to break down the cards. Currently, there is the PFL going on. I got it on in the background. All the love to Jonas Flock. He did come up a little bit short in his fight. It was a 29-28 decision to Christian Lojan. It's a really entertaining fight. Unfortunately, the thing I was concerned about was him grappling a little bit too much with the grappler. Did kind of end up happening. I think on the feed, Jonas had a good shot and got some good shots in there. But I did want to give him a shout out and hope he's recovering well. That's definitely a tough loss, though, on a big stage for him at this stage in his career. So we'll have to see what happens from there. But
he's got a really good attitude. He's so soft-spoken and calm. I respect him a lot.
Yeah, Jonas is great. Yesterday on the Bellator breakdown, we had Julius Anglickas join us. He has a fight coming up as well. So, I mean, it's a good time here on the channel. We've been having a really good run of things. And do you need the link, Bunny, just before we get started?
Yeah, sorry, I hate to interrupt, but I need the links.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
So all you Instagram users can log on. I see Davis in the chat. What's up, Davis?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to just had to pull it up there. Sorry, everybody. We were on the fly here. I put it.
Sorry, this is all different.
Let's see. If you go to the private chat, will that work?
What?
It's going to be on the right side. Okay, I'm going to send it in there.
Thank you. All right.
We'll move along. It's sent in there. All right, you got it?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Appreciate it. We are starting a little bit at a different time tonight. We wanted to be able to watch the great Kayla Harrison live. I'll be honest, that's the main reason, at least from our angle. So in the meantime, I will be honest, the fights are on in the background. I'm currently 1-1, I should say, not 1-for-1. One right, one wrong. We get cash on Amanda Levy. But definitely Fuji. Yeah, wants in on the private chat. Yeah, it's really popping there. Yeah, I'm really looking forward. We got a middleweight final here. And, we got middleweight main event, I should say. I'm just all sort of thrown off still. I really get involved when my fighters are fighting, and I'm still unraveling from Jonas Flock a little bit there. But yeah, we got Bunny on the channel. Short notice, by the way, Brandon. She showed up. I let her know this morning that Bryan had like 6 media obligations. None of them are Aaron the Dog MMA channel. And he still, I immediately reached out to the one and only. And I think she answered back within 30 seconds. And she's like, yep. And was already on it. She's got signed up for her Tapology account now. So that's a big moment. Very happy for her on that. Boston Comments on Tapology, as well as the gram, as the kids say it. But it's good. Very good event here. We've got a couple short notice fighters, so that's good for the short notice Bunny to be able to break down. But I don't know about you, but I'm ready to hop in. No pun intended there, I should say, hop in. But we might be joined by a guest along the way. We can definitely stop as we go. But in the meantime, we're here to break down fights, and breakdown fights is what we shall do. The numbers are going up. Clearly, Bunny has posted. What can I say? She brings
your support means a lot.
Yeah, we appreciate the support, Davis, and everybody else who's going to make their way over. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm happy to have such a fantastic representative of MMA to join me on this breakdown for at least the next 2 weeks. It might be a little longer, but we'll see.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Our guest is ready.
Perfect. Before we even start the breakdown, so let me just. That's why this is. Yeah, I see him coming in. I'll get him in here in one moment. This is why I use the whiteboard for my timestamps. So 7:20, we get our interview with a pretty awesome guest to have on. This is all Bunny here. What can I say? Most of this channel is all Bunny at this point that it exists. But we've got a light heavyweight opponent, I should say. I'm all in the main event mode here. But we got a light heavyweight fighting this Saturday in a huge matchup for both against William Knight. We're going to have Mr. Fabio Sherrod, the Water Buffalo.
What's up?
What's up, baby?
How are you? Can you hear me?
I mean,
yes,
yeah, absolutely, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Getting ready to burn some weight off. My man.
And he's all smiles as he's getting ready to cut that weight.
We're your priority right now. Excuse me, Fabio.
No, it's okay.
What's up?
He's my buddy. We could talk. I said, we're your priority right now, Fabio. Come on.
Sorry.
You're looking good. The weight cut's going well. You looking ready to go?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know the deal. It's time. It's time to go.
How different does it feel going in? How different does it feel going into this your second UFC fight compared to having? How much notice did you have for that first fight?
2 days to cut weight, 3 days before the fight.
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, that's a uber short notice. There's short notice, and then there's what happened there. You also went against Alonzo Metafield in that fight, and I've never seen the game plan that he came out with for that fight. What were your kind of thoughts after that fight? I'm gonna go right to the difficult stuff first, and we'll get to the fun stuff after.
It was what it is. It is what it is. I was in a position where if I denied that call, I don't know when I'm going to get another call, and so I was just like, fuck it, let's do it, and we'll think about the consequences after. But it was a cool learning experience. You know what I mean? I made a little mistake which cost me the fight. And we only knew of him just going in and swinging and banging, and I wasn't expecting him to even go for a takedown, so I was a little shook on that part too. But this time around is a different story, man. I've had an actual camp. I'm healthy, and I'm just ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you look great. I really appreciate that honesty. And one thing I do a lot when I do breakdowns on this channel, I break down all the MMA that I can break down, from CFFC to the UFC and everything in between. So one thing I look at particularly is quick losses. Yeah, they can be very devastating, but at the same point, don't tell the full story of the fighter. I got a lot more from your LFA championship fight in which you faced Myron Dennis. Can you tell me a little bit about what that fight was like? Because before that fight, the talk was with Fabio that, there's a little bit of a cardio issue. All he wants to do is grapple. That's at least what the talk was a lot from people who don't do it. What you did in that 5-round fight was everything. What were your thoughts after that?
I'm growing in this sport, people think they know me, but they don't know me. And I wish I could say soon they will know me, but I'm always growing and I'm always getting better. And this fight is going to be a different story from that title fight, man. You're going to see a better performance.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that title fight performance. Frankly, I know it was a closer fight than you wanted, but told me so much about being able to come from the adversity, adjust, and you won the most important round 5, which is what we're all working towards, having the 5-round fights. I think a lot. Do you pay attention to odds?
No,
neither do I, Fabio. Neither do I.
I see them. Only time I pay attention to them is when I'm betting. But like, I'll see the odds and then say, cool, man. I was expecting that, and it is what it is. It's stress off of my shoulders, He has to win. He has to win. I know I'm gonna win. I'm gonna fuck him up, but it's all on him.
Yeah, this is the really interesting part. If you don't mind, I'm gonna go into the odds real quick. Because you opened as a 2-1 underdog, a plus 200, against a guy who got 10-7 nearly against a guy in Da-Un Young in his last fight. Quite a bit. I mean, there was quite a bit of exposure of William Knight a few times now, even in his wins. And yet he opened as this massive favorite. The smart money has been coming in on you, actually. You have now shrunken from a minus 300 underdog to William Knight is at a minus 170 coming into today. You're at a plus 140.
Yeah, man, so. I'm not surprised. I think I've seen people comment, cardio is going to be a sloppy gas tank fight. And I'm like, nah, man, never. I fought my fight for CES in October was a 3-round fight, and I won every single round. And then this fight with Myron, I went 5 rounds. I won. I think I lost 1 round, and that was the 3rd round. I got a little tired, and I caught my 2nd win for the 4th and 5th. But for anybody to ever say, "Oh, he's gonna gas out" or whatever, when have you seen me gas out? It's like, put some respect on my name. I don't disrespect fighters. Cardio, because like people are always like, oh, we question this guy's tank, like he's never been out of the 1st round before. But it's like, we're not training for 1 fucking round. Like, you gotta be a bozo if you think like we just train, we spar for 1 round and then we call it a day. Like, all right, boys, we did a good job today. I mean, it's silly, and it's cool. I get to keep proving people wrong. And
yes, I love that fucking attitude.
Yeah, Bunny. What questions do you have for him? I know that Fabio is a good friend of yours, so it's like always funny to interview people, and it's like we talk a lot. So it's like, but either way, what questions do you got for our man Fabio?
Games this morning, or the PS4 games? How'd you play this morning? That's the question.
Had a great time, It's been a great fight week. I brought the PlayStation out. We were playing some games and watching Netflix and stuff, just hanging out, things are good. My weight's good. I'm happy.
How's your cardio doing? Because this guy that you're going up against he's pretty agile. I see him doing backflips and shit. I'm not off of that flashy shit. I want to know.
Yeah, it's kind of, and the other thing that's interesting with William Knight is you look at him and you think he's going to gas when he walks in there, but he does have a lot of 3rd-round finishes.
He's super durable and very lucky. Super durable.
Very lucky.
Yeah, you watch. Watch most of his fights. He's getting his ass kicked, and then out of nowhere, he pulls out victory out of his ass, which this is the fight game, shit happens. But you watch his Contender Series fight against Cody Brundage. Cody Brundage, first round, sparked him. And was very close to finishing him, and all Wills did was hold his hands, and which he couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, he was holding on for dear life. And then obviously the second round happened, and then his first Contender Series got his ass kicked for 3 rounds, and in the last minute of the third round climbs on top of the guy and TKOs him. It's like, bro, like,
against Hardem,
yeah, I mean, like, he's very durable, and like he's lucky. That's the best way to say it, man.
So are you looking to go in and like take him out round 1 and cut that durability, just like silence it, or are you looking to sort of test? Are you testing the water, see like, yo, I can fucking keep up with this agile gymnast?
I mean, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about like his attributes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very strong. I'm very athletic, and
Hell yeah.
I can't do a backflip, but I can do a cartwheel and stuff, you know? So,
Yeah.
There we go.
But no, man. If fights were won because of muscle, man, I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are bodybuilders that would be trying to do this. And it's cool, you know. I train my skills, and Saturday night my skills will talk.
Hell yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I really, I'm not a big go in there and predict how you're gonna win or anything like that. I just have watched too much MMA to believe that. But so you do watch a lot of tape, it sounds like, though. You're a big believer in
I've seen enough from watching him fight, his fight, to support and stuff like that, or just be there. I've seen them, and I just.
He's probably been someone on your. Has he been someone somewhat on your radar even prior to the UFC?
We were supposed to fight a few times. It couldn't happen, and
it's always good to have those kind of moments for one reason or another why the fight falls through, and then it finally gets on the biggest stage. I think this is a really under the radar card here. Often these ESPN Plus cards can be. But I see a lot of these fights that are going to be going kind of the over. So I think it's some serious opportunities for a performance of the night bonus. And I personally, this is one of the fights I think very well could be. If you're able to finish William Knight, especially with the sort of, the sort of reputation he has in there, and the fact that he is going to go in at least as a slight favorite, I think that, it's a huge opportunity. Also, the UFC giving you a second opportunity to me is a huge, huge deal, because often guys get that one shot, and then we saw Max Roshkoff did not get that second opportunity. So they do see something in you, Fabio. So that's got to give you some confidence as well.
Joe Lozon is a really good guy, by the way. But Brandon has a question for you. He wants to know if you still train with Joe Lozon in East End, near where I live.
I was just there the other day.
That's what's up. I love it.
So who's your main training partners for this camp?
I don't have main training partners, man. I train with people with talent and size, and everyone. And I went down to Sanford, and I trained with some good guys there, a lot of great guys there, and I train with the guys up here. Great guys that I've always been training with, and and then. I'm sorry, Bunny, go ahead.
I just said I'll take some of that Vegas weather you got over there, so you send it here.
It's fucking hot.
It's good for weight.
We got hot, humid weather here in DC as well. But definitely, I think this is a huge fight for you. You're 26 years old in the UFC. So again, William Knight is the 33-year-old here. I do think if one person has the potential to push the pace here in this fight, I actually look it to be you. So I'm really looking forward to breaking down your fight here. You're the third fight in. So third fight in, my mistake. And so you are going to, the whole card's on ESPN Plus though. So everybody knows where to tune in here. Bunny, do you have anything left for Mr. Fabio before we start breaking down the card?
Nah, I'll talk to you later, Fabio.
All right.
Perfect. Fabio, sincerely appreciate you making it on during fight week. You always got an open invite here. And we'll be watching you on Saturday and looking forward to breaking down your fight tonight. Have a great night.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Peace. All right. There we go, Mr. Fabio Cherant. Definitely.
I did bring the best on. I feel successful.
Yeah, I mean, Bunny, I have a feeling you'd have a better luck than me bringing on most guests. But, we'll save that. That's for another podcast. But here's Elliot. Elliot, I'm wondering where you've been. But here he is.
We got a Bernie Mac in the house.
There we go. We got Bernie Mac attack. We got Dorian Steele. Yeah, my Bunny as well. I agree. So yeah, everybody here. We got a nice little crowd here. Definitely was great to start with that interview with Fabio. Super appreciate it. Chat just going crazy for the Bunny MMA channel. What can I say? The people love it.
I like. I was like, where'd I go?
No. I was just moving up. What did you have to say?
No, I just freaked out. I feel like he seems confident. It's cool of him to join us. He was literally playing PlayStation this morning, so I'm like, he seemed not worried at all. But this fucking, let's just jump into it because the guy he's going against has some.
Yeah, that will be our third fight of the night. Yeah, I'm glad I have a little bit of time to recollect my thoughts on that fight because he did give me some stuff to think about for sure as we get into this fight.
And I'll be honest. I had a hard. Fabio is a good friend of mine, but the guy he's going against is not one. I mean, William Knight is a savage. So it's we'll talk about that. It's MMA, and there's nothing predictable about it, even when it's the people we really like or know. So we'll break it down like every other fight on the card. If I think he's got it, then I will pick him. If not, then I'll pick the other guy. But the first fight of the night that we have to break down is at welterweight. Ramzi Brahimish taking on Sasha Palachnikov. Thank you guys all for being with us. Especially thank you to Bunny, which again, she is taking this fight breakdown on less than 1 day's notice. She's got her clipboard filled to the gills. Shout out to Bunny. There's not many people who could step up and do this on short notice. She put in all the tape as she was working today. I really appreciate her being on for the next couple of weeks while Brian takes care of business. But Sasha Palachnikov is the first fighter we'll be breaking down here, 6-3 for the fighter fighting out of Hong Kong. Although he went to the University of Buffalo, where he played basketball, I believe there. I don't think he even wrestled. But yeah, very, very interesting kind of trip travels. He's from Hong Kong, born over there, fought over there as well for some time. 6-3, lost his last fight out to Impa Kasagane, who was making his welterweight debut, and it was a very good fight, very good first round. But Impa's good
definitely,
too.
Yeah. What's that?
I said Impa's good too. It's not.
Yeah, Impa's really good, and was coming down from middleweight to welterweight and looked like an absolute specimen. And got the takedowns in that fight at will. That was definitely seeming to be a weakness for Sasha Palachnikov, is takedown defense. And I think that Ramzi, that is definitely what he looks to do. But before that, Sasha had an absolute classic fight with Luis Koski. It was Luis Koski's debut as well as Sasha's. Sasha, I believe, took it on short notice.
Wait, it was their debut?
What's that?
They both debuted on the same fight?
Yeah. They were both debuted on that fight. Sasha training on Syndicate MMA for the last couple training camps. Good call there, Brandon. But yeah, Sasha, he needs to use his kicks and his feet or kicks and fists, I should say, punches, to really be effective. When he's only stuck striking with the hands, he kind of has some issues, while when he's able to mix it up, he definitely does a lot better. His last fight against Impa, 31 strikes and 13 significant strikes here, as Brandon's pointing out. While his first fight was 160 strikes to 125 significant strikes. That's because he was kicking as well. I think that's a big key here in this fight. Ramzi had a tough debut last year against Max Griffin. He's 8-3. His whole kind of trip to the UFC was pretty challenging for the 28-year-old. He was actually originally supposed to debut back against Miguel Baeza in 2019, and they did his pre-fight medical, and they found a tumor behind his eye, so he actually had to take off 2 years. Yeah. So he had to take off the year. Tried to come back against Takashi Saito in June, and he had a cornerman test positive for COVID. So then he finally made his debut in November of 2020, and they gave him Max Griffin for his UFC debut, which to me is a brutal. Yeah, it's a brutal debut, and he took a beating in that fight from Max Griffin. Max Griffin's been fighting much better, and it actually stopped. I don't know if you remember this fight, but it stopped when his cauliflower ear exploded, like completely off his ear. So then he had to obviously take some time off. He's been off for 9 months now, coming up back against Sasha Palatnikov. You see with Ramsey a lot of finishes in the first round by submission, a 1 second round finish, but it's like he's going in there trying to get on top of you and finish, whether it's rear naked choke, Kimura. He's got a good arm triangle as well. I think that Sasha just gets taken down far too much. Either Ramsey ends up getting a finish with a submission somewhere in here, or he controls him with the grappling for 3 rounds. But I just don't think Sasha is active enough with his striking or has enough power to get him out of there. So give me Ramsey, and I'll say by submission. I really didn't like how quick he tapped that rear naked choke by Impa, and I think Ramsey gets the rear naked choke as well.
Yes. Aaron, when you pick the same shit I do, I feel so much better because I'm telling you, for those who are watching, Aaron's right like 99% of the time. So
considering the last time we did this, you got 4 underdogs, and you actually beat me by 3 picks. But go on, Bunny.
Nonetheless, that was a fluke. I also have Ramirez. That ear thing was like horrendous, and it proved that Max was not a great first matchup for him. That was like brutal to watch, dude.
I mean, Max had what, 10 to 15 UFC fights in that. I think he had more UFC fights than Ramsey had fights going into that fight. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, absolutely brutal, and it proved with that horrifying injury. Like that was pretty gross. But I can handle punches and submissions and broken limbs, but like you lose a finger or your ear rips off, and so then I gotta like look away. But I think 8 submission wins from Ramirez is hard to go against. That's insane, regardless if it's amateur or not. So
and Sasha's been taken down in each of his first UFC fights as well.
It's like that's why it like perfectly fits in for a Ramirez win. So I'm Bernie says I'm a casual whose ear pops.
So that was Ramsey Brashameen, the guy on the left here, facing Sasha Palatnikov. If you just type in his name and ear, you should get some good results, Bernie. So that would be my advice. I'm a huge fan, by the way, of you, Bernie. Huge fan. Black Irish from Charlie's Angels too. That was my favorite role you had. So shout out. But yeah, Ramsey is a -130 favorite. So that's a very reasonable. What's that? Ramirez. Yeah.
Ramsey.
Okay. All right, Brandon. Sasha Palatnikov coming back at a +115. I like that price a lot for Brahimish. I think it's a decent start to your night. You can bet him straight, add him to a parlay or two. That's what I would do. But we'll move on to our next fight. I'll work on my pronunciation better for Bunny here. It's Roosevelt Roberts facing Ignacio Bahamondes. Thank you. Ignacio Bahamondes is the Chilean prospect fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, taking on the American out of California, Roosevelt Roberts, the Predator, 27 and a half years old, taking on Ignacio, who turns 24 on, I believe, fight night. He's 3 days away from his birthday, so maybe on Sunday he turns 24. But either way, happy early birthday to Ignacio, 23 years old, 11-4 for the La Hula product out of Chile, fighting at VF. I almost said VHS Academy, VFS Academy. And he's 6'3", 75.5-inch reach. That tells me that he is not going to be at 155 for too long, because that just must be a brutal cut with that size to 155. He won on the Contender Series against Edson Gomez to make it into the UFC. He then had a split loss to John McDessie back in April. No shame at all in that fight. It was a really good back and forth fight, but he took a lot of damage, took a lot of shots from John McDessie. He was pretty beat up. And yeah, definitely not the fastest turnaround. He's taken off 4 months, but still a pretty quick turnaround here. Mostly a boxer, has some good front kicks, but has some takedown issues definitely in his past for Ignacio. He has been submitted twice in his career as well. And Preston Parsons, not a great opponent. And Matt McKeon is someone I've never heard of, a 3-3 opponent. So I think there's some potential issues once he gets to the ground. I think that has to be where Roosevelt is looking to take this fight. But Roosevelt Roberts, the Predator here, I will be breaking down out of California, 10-2, 27 years old, 6'2". So these are two of the taller prospects for 155 division. It's going to be interesting because Roosevelt is the lower or the shorter fighter, probably for the first time in his career. Usually he's definitely used to having the reach advantage. So, but I mean, for Roosevelt, he's not looking to keep this on the feet. He needs to get this to the ground. He did lose by guillotine in 31 seconds in his last fight and by armbar prior to that. But that's against Jim Miller. And then Kevin Kroom just came out and dove right on the neck there. Yeah, that's Chico. He's always in the house. So, but yeah, I definitely like Roosevelt Roberts quite a bit in this fight. I know he's had a rough go of it, essentially on a 2-fight losing streak. Frankly, hasn't really lived up to the hype from the Contender Series yet, but I think that he should be able to, just from an athletic standpoint and a strength standpoint, kind of take care of Ignacio, who I think really suffers making into weight cut down here and is, a little bit one-dimensional. I'm going to go Roosevelt Roberts by submission, 1-2.
I have the worst poker face. Don't play poker with me.
Yeah, I'm Bunny, your thoughts on this fight?
I also have Roosevelt. I like what I saw. He's an angry, emotional fighter. I like it. I like slams a lot. I saw a lot of that in my tape study.
Yep.
Again, it's pretty new. This is honestly, there's a lot of like. Oh, I lost Aaron to the dogs.
I'm here. Just grabbing
This is an underrated card. This is a slept-on card. A lot of like newish, and I don't want to say inexperienced, but I will, for lack of a better term, fighters. Lots of first round finishes. I thought, honestly, I think he might. I think Roosevelt might be main card worthy with the way that he's exciting in how he fights. Either way,
he's got to string together some wins, though.
That's where this comes in. I have Roosevelt written down by murder, so you can figure out however that translates to a finish. But that's
Roosevelt by murder.
I will say, I don't think that he has a heck of a lot of chances against any of the top current lightweights. Like I don't know how I see him faring against any one of the top 10 lightweights currently. Like that's an impossible thing to imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not. I didn't love what I saw from Ignacio, so I have to roll with Roosevelt.
Yeah, I agree with Brandon here. Like that was a kind of a life-changing beating. It it reminded me of a closer Calvin Kattar versus Max Holloway type of beating. So Calvin Kattar didn't land any punches in that fight. So obviously,
Max landed almost 500 punches. He landed.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't think that the Boston product, Calvin Kattar's ever going to be the same from that fight. He has not fought since that fight. I'm glad he took the rest of the year off.
He's not
But
from Boston, by the way. I'd like to clarify that. So Boston,
no, please do.
He's just. I'm sorry, Calvin. Big fan. You're not from Boston. That's fine.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Say no more. It's getting warm in
He's
here.
not on the call, so let's move on.
Oh boy, I didn't say it, but
I said that's exactly what I said. You weren't listening, Mardali. Move on.
Oh
quick,
man, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Well, let's move on quick though before he keeps going.
Let me take but the next fight here, this is gonna be an interesting breakdown. We had this man on the channel at the beginning on this video at the beginning of the breakdown here, Fabio Charant. For whatever reason, I didn't feel confident saying his last name in front of him. But he's taking on William Knight. And we're just all pronouncing stuff wrong. So, yeah, like, whatever.
Yeah, but
Cater, Cotter, Qatar.
Yeah,
Kelvin Qatar? What did I say? Isn't it Kelvin Cater?
I thought it was Qatar. But regardless, we know every stat of every fighter, but the pronunciations they're going to attack us on, Aaron.
Yeah, once in a while. But Fabio Charant versus William Knight in this fight at 205. This is a very interesting fight for sure. I thought it was interesting before talking to Fabio. I'm still interested in 9-2 versus 7-2. So very similar types of records. Fabio Charant, the former LFA light heavyweight champion, 26 years old here, nicknamed the Water Buffalo. So he's got the advantage on all accounts so far. 6'1", 76-inch reach, fighting out of Lausanne MMA, as well as a few other camps that he's pointed out. So definitely good. He's traveling around. He did lose that last fight out to Alonzo Metafield. He made a terrible mistake. It wasn't a small error. It was a pretty big error, which I think is better than the small error because the big errors you can really correct. And he just held on to that guillotine for the whole day. And he fluted himself essentially. And I just think that's something he can definitely correct. So I'm not too worried about that coming in. I also think that was a good loss because he was reminded through that loss that you're at the top level here in the UFC. If you're not ready for someone to do everything in there, you're probably not ready for the UFC. So the fact that he was surprised that Alonzo would wrestle is a little bit concerning to me, but maybe a lesson he was able to learn that these guys are at the top of MMA for a reason. They're going to be able to mix it up. So it's something he's done very well. He was coming off a 5-round fight in LFA to win the title where he had a little bit of adversity, came back from it really well. He's definitely been improving his stand-up. His grappling is his bread and butter, though. That's, I think, where he can really have an advantage. I think if he's able to get the takedowns on William, he can, potentially finish him. But I'm pretty worried in a lot of ways in this fight. William Knight has tremendous movement. His cardio is amongst the best, I think, in the division somehow. I don't consider him lucky either. I did hear Fabio say that. And
say that, that's his opponent. What else is he going to say?
He does. It's just he does, but I'm hoping that's a little bit of wolf tickets from him, and he doesn't honestly believe that because the Cody Brundage fight was a one-round fight, and he got taken down. He was able to get it around and get on top, and then put him away inside one. I think it's a really close fight. Honestly, William Knight, I'll just give a little bit of background on him. But the thing about Fabio is that other than Myron Dennis, 16-7, he hasn't faced the highest level of competition in his career. That's a lot of 0-0s, a 0-3, a 1-1, 1-5, 0-0. He got knocked out pretty clean by Alexa Kammer in the second round of their Contender Series fight. Beat a 5-3 opponent, 3-0, 18-7, then 9-2. So that's one of my concerns also. But he's here. He's getting the second opportunity. He got a full camp. William Knight, the Nightmare, 33 years old, 5'10", so he does have a 2-inch height disadvantage, but the reach is identical. Fighting out Thornton Marshall arts. You know, he's a specimen, really good movement, good cardio, has good power as well. He's faced the better level of competition as a win over Jamel Jones, who's fighting in the PFL tonight against Bruno Capoloza in the co-main event. So I was able to put Jamel Jones away inside of a round there. His losses are to Tefan Nchukwu and Da Un Young, two very good guys. Da Un Young had 24 fights. So this is a close one. You know, I don't love the odds, although they're getting a little closer. So I like them much more. I'm leaning towards William.
Sharant was what, -1? I'm sorry.
Sharant was over a +200 underdog, and now he's a plus.
Can you say now he's +140?
Yeah, +140. So the smart money, quote unquote, has been coming in on Sharant, which means that the bettors are definitely on him. Yeah, Elliot, PFL is on ESPN Plus right now.
We've got PFL tonight, Bellator tomorrow, and UFC. I feel like the luckiest person alive to be an MMA.
And go ahead and the Bellator Breakdown is on the channel with brand of MMA wagers right now as well. Go ahead and check that out. But this is a close fight. I'm gonna lean ever so slightly towards William Knight. I do see this one going the distance. Actually, I think these guys are very well matched. It could be a 2 rounds to 1 type of situation, but I'm going to lean towards William Knight right now. I'm not putting a bet down on it. I want to see the weigh-ins, and I kind of think it's too close. But, I think that Fabio has a great chance here as well. It's no disrespect to him. He's clearly ready, looks to be in good shape. You know, I didn't ask him how much he was cutting, but I am hoping it's not a ton. But if it is, then I'm hoping he's been preparing well. He's not cutting the night before. He's cutting a couple nights before, so that's good. You know, I know he's been preparing prior to tonight to cut the weight. So, he appreciate him coming on the show and everything like that. It's no disrespect to him, but I'm going to take William Knight by decision.
See, it's because you're coming from. So I don't have a lot. I'll take a little extra time on this fight because Fabio is a good friend of mine. So there is some slight bias here, but I don't bet. So your best bet is to listen to Aaron on this one. But my only breakdown is that Fabio he'll surprise you. Light heavyweight is tough. He's been cutting, you know, like you said, it's been cutting for a couple days. He's been doing great, but this morning he was straight chilling, playing PS4. He seems tuned in. He seems ready. He seems confident. But I was so impressed with William Knight's cardio, especially at light heavyweight. He's able to go the entire rounds all the way to the end of the fight and then still backflip and cartwheel and do somersaults. Like, his cardio is insane. It's insane. He's able to last and then still have more energy.
These aren't great numbers from Brandon here. He's missed weight in 3 of his last 5 fights. Including one of the wins he had.
Brandon, easy with the. We have respect to all fighters. So whether they're plus minus, we respect.
Definitely. It's just that I think the trouble here. I'm just kind of adding on to your point a little bit with William Knight's cardio is one of his biggest weapons, and it is an issue that Fabio is still kind of has to show he's dressed in order to fully be trusted on that end for me.
Of course, but I also don't want to discredit fighters who are working their ass off to go up against these savages. You know, if I was honestly, regardless of my friendship with Fabio, if I was a betting woman, I'm fortunately I'd have to go with Knight because of what I've seen from him. You can't, if you're putting money down, you can't be blind to the evidence. You know what I mean? And Fabio has a lot to prove, regardless of my personal relationship with him. But with that said, it's MMA. Fucking anything can happen, dude. We hit underdogs all the time. You know, so and Fabio, I don't know, he's much more patient. He's willing to sort of take a couple shots to plan out what his opponent might do. Whereas you said betting woman, Elliot. I'm not a betting woman. Where have you been? I don't bet on shit, dude.
Yeah, she's very like anti. Even like she's started to learn about a little bit just by me twisting her arm, but like she's pretty like against like I feel like
I
my
should
betting on
bet going 10-13 on that last pay-per-view card. I should be fucking betting, but I'm not.
Correct.
Yeah, but I know that Fabio has been seriously cutting weight hard, and I don't know. He's the third prelim in. This isn't. Don't listen to me for betting purposes. This is purely out of passion and heart.
Yeah,
I've seen him train, and I'm a huge Lozon fan, so this is all purely bias speaking. I am excited for it, but I am also extremely nervous that Knight is gonna once again pull it. I mean, he's explosive.
So your official pick, Bunny.
I'll pass.
This is the only time I'm gonna let. You are lucky. I'm a nice dog. You're lucky.
Nobody listens to my betting, anyways. I'm gonna pick William.
I heard that. Okay, that's fine. We won't talk about it anymore here. Let's go ahead and move on. That was a very good breakdown. I appreciate the insight that you were able to provide. I know when breaking down friends, especially, it's as tough as it gets. The next breakdown will be a little bit easier because this is a potential stake fight. Potential stake fight here, and B. Malecki taking on Josiah Nunes. I'm gonna be respectful of all fighters. Bantamweight fight here, 135. We've got two good records, 2-0 versus 7-1, 27 against 29. I will be breaking down. Actually, Bia turns 30 next week. The bad news, Barbie, but Josina Nunes is who I'll be breaking down first here. 7-1. She is stocky. She's a little firecracker. 5'2". We got 5'2" versus 5'11" matchup here. So that weigh-in tomorrow is going to look real weird. Real weird. First of all, but 27 years old for the Brazilian here, fighting out a striker's house. Just pure Muay Thai striker, pretty much. She goes in there, really blitzes, but you look at this, she's got a ton of finishes. In her 7 wins, 6 by finishes. Got some first round KO in there, a few second round KOs as well. Has beat 2 undefeated fighters in her last 2. She was supposed to fight back in April against Zarin Farron, but Zarin had missed weight, so she had to withdraw from the fight. And now she's been reset with another bigger bantamweight and Bia Malecki. Bia Malecki, the bad news Barbie, 5'10". She's gigantic. That is definitely the first thing I noticed. 74-inch reach. That is huge. Playing off.
Dude.
I mean, she's just very large. She's got a big head. Like, she's just a big woman. I'll be honest. There's going to be a very noticeable reach advantage for Bia Malecki here of about 7 to 8 inches. Fighting out Fortis MMA, good camp. Bia's actually been staying with Cheyenne Buys and JP Buys. So hopefully that means she's been working on her ground game a little bit, because I would like to see her take this to the ground. I think it could be potentially close if it's fought predominantly on the feet. And Josiah Nunes could kind of blitz her and get the finish, I think, just because Bia just does not throw a lot of volume. She kind of just throws very kind of technical strikes, but not quick with her strikes exactly. She came into the UFC with 0 fights, which was crazy. Lost on the Ultimate Fighter finale. Got another chance against Duda Santana. Duda was looking really good in that fight until she kind of gassed in the second round. But I guess that Blue wants the dog. But this is a tough one for me to call. I just think that Bia should be able to use her reach, and she should be able to kind of keep Josiah away from her, Nunes away from her. And also I'd like to see Bia go for some takedowns, use her jiu-jitsu, possibly use her wrestling, because she should be the better MMA fighter here. Nunes is pretty much a pure Muay Thai striker. But if it's on the feet, I could really see Nunes just kind of blitzing her with a lot of strikes and overwhelming her, putting her away. But I'll take Bia. Very not confident by
Damn
this.
it. Okay.
I'm not confident, though.
I know. I'm sorry. I keep trying to wait. Oh, he left. That's great. So
No, I'm here.
this is where I get anxious. I feel like I saw Nunez and immediately something happened in my brain and was like, Nunez by KO, regardless of the association. But I don't know. From what I saw, and I hate calling it a steak fight because I feel like that aligns a lot with women fighters. That's not how I feel about women fighters at all.
Nor do I. But they're just a younger division. That's all.
Exactly. And if you look up their record, you can see why we came to the conclusion of it being a steak fight. We watch every fight from the early prelims to the prelims from every FC. So
correct.
We're allowed to call it a steak fight. But I don't know. I was not a huge fan of what I saw from Bay. Is it Bea or Bay?
So I think it's B Malecki, but I call her Bea.
I've been calling her Bea because I can't within good conscience.
I think it's just B Malecki. Like it's like
B Malecki. Perfect. Yeah. I had trouble finding. I wrote down Swedish House Mafia because I thought that would be a funny sound bit, but that's all I got.
That's very good.
But I have Nunez by KO, and thanks Bernie. I have Nunez by KO, and that's just wishful thinking. I'm a big. I love decision finishes. It tells us a lot. It's able to let both fighters go the distance and see where the flaws and where the strengths are. But something in my brain is telling me Nunez is going to bring a KO, and I gotta, you're here.
All right.
For the numbers, you're here with me for the heart, and that's what I'm rolling with.
I'm
round 1, round 2 finishes. That's what I'm rolling with.
I'm not mad at all at that. Our first disagreement of the night. The honeymoon is over, and it's on the steak fight that it comes.
And you said it was like you said you were not confident, and I'm also not confident. So like
that's good. So we're just a couple. Non-confident folks here. That's good. So everybody wants to hear on a breakdown, right? I got the minus 155 favorite. Of course, Bunny gets the dog and Nunez at plus 130. I think that's a very worthy dog. If she's gonna win, she's gonna go in there and win. I think the way that you frankly picked it. So I don't hate the pick at all. I think this is a very reasonable fight to disagree on. And you got Josina Nunez. I got Bea Bad News Barbie. Should be an interesting one to watch as I'm cooking that steak, though. I'm looking forward to it. I picked it up from Whole Foods today. I got that dry aged. So, only the best here. Going to cook it on the charcoal grill, by the way. So, hopefully weather permitting. But next fight here is at the 145 division. I'm going to preface this right away. We're going from one of my least confident picks to one of my most confident picks on the card here. And you'll see who I'm picking here in a moment. But we've got Bryan Kelleher taking on Domingo Pilarte. This is at 135, 22-12. Bryan Kelleher, Boom Kelleher, taking on Domingo, son of fire. Pilarte, 31 and a half years old, fighting out of Houston, Texas. 6 foot tall, 74-inch reach against a 5'6", 64-inch reach Bryan Kelleher. So 10-inch reach disadvantage there. That is huge. That is huge, huge, huge. Can Domingo take advantage of it or not? I will give you my read on it. 31 years old, fighting out of Revolution Dojo. Last fought in February of 2020. Bob Perez is his head coach. Also coached by Daniel Pineda, who we all know, former UFC, maybe he's still current UFC competitor. But definitely very decent camp. Unfortunately, Domingo Pilarte faced off against Journey Newsome when Journey Newsome was on a little bit of the sauce. And Journey Newsome knocked him out in 38 seconds and then failed the drug test after the fight. So, but that damage still counts from that fight, unfortunately. So he's been off since February of last year. Felipe Colares, he lost in his UFC debut by split decision. And then Vince Morales, they had a really, really close fight on the Contender Series. Actually, Vince Morales dropped him pretty hard before Domingo Pilarte came back and won that fight. Pilarte was opened up as well. So kind of holds his chin up high, doesn't always use that reach, and also throws a lot of naked leg kicks. Bryan Kelleher, 22-12. That is a veteran record right there. for sure.
Kelleher's got to work the guillotine over Ode, who just broke fucking heart the last card, dude.
Kelleher has a lot of guillotines over a lot of fighters. That is definitely what he is known for. Is his power guillotine. Ode Osborne broke our heart, obviously. Last
dude, shattered.
Against Kape. But yeah,
unexpected.
Yeah, that was rough, and he was looking really good up until then too. I was very excited about my pick. But yeah, Ode Osborne guillotine. After that, the Hunter Azure fight was tremendous. Hunter Azure was coming into that fight with a ton of hype, a ton of notoriety, and Hunter Azure, he just was able to really take his best shots, gas him in the second round. The power hooks were there. The volume was there for Kelleher. Kelleher definitely earns that nickname of Boom. He's one of the hardest hitters at 135. And you just look at the guys he's lost to in the UFC, and to put it kindly, they're all much better than Domingo Pilarte. He lost to John Lineker. He lost to Marlon Cheeto Vera. He lost to Cody Stamen and Ricky Simone in his last time out. No shame in any of those losses, frankly. No. He's got 2 wins over Julio Arce on the regional scene, has a win over Renan Barao, has a win over Yuri Alcantara, Ode Osborne, Hunter Azure. Some very, very solid wins here. One of my most confident picks of the night here at 22-12. Yes, it's Bryan Kelleher. I got Kelleher inside the distance here. I think it could be a submission or it could be a knockout, but I think it's inside 2 rounds he gets that finish. Your thoughts, Bunny?
This is interesting because I know Bryan Kelleher well, and I'm picking, and this is my least hot take I've made, but I'm picking Domingo, baby. I'm picking Sunday. And hear me out. If Domingo wins, I'll look like a fucking genius. If he loses as he should, I'm going to look like a fucking idiot. So this is one of those things where he's got, Domingo's got no super major wins and so like no super major losses. So it's like, why are you going with Domingo, Jackie? But I don't know. He's a lot younger. Something in the tape study really drew me to Domingo, and I know Bryan Kelleher well. I've watched him for a while now, and honestly, I'm surprised. This matchup was a little surprising to me because he's had so many more fights than Pilarte. Yeah. So I was honestly a little surprised. Maybe it was because Bryan's getting a little bit older. I'm not sure, but I was a little shocked at this matchup, and for some reason, my masochistic mind was like, "Go Domingo, fuck it." So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not sure of how he's gonna get it done, but shout out the realist, your buddy, the realist, Bunny, has this little comment to say. He cornered against Kelleher as an amateur in Jersey. He's a fucking ox. Don't count him out. Definitely not. He just turned 36 as of today. Happy birthday, Bryan Kelleher. It's his birthday today. So you picked again. So you picked against someone. You're lost on his birthday. So I'm picking Kelleher to lose on his fucking birthday.
They can all get some smoke. So
I'm coming from a non-betting perspective, so I can pick these crazy hot takes with I got nothing to lose on these picks,
And is it Domingo by decision or finish for you?
I didn't say which one because I can't decide. There's nothing written. Let me calculate real quick. Let's go with Son of Fire. That's just calling. I'm gonna go with fucking decision. I'm writing it right now. Decision by decision. I don't think
by decision. You have the plus. You have the plus. Let me get the updated odds here. You do have another dog here in Domingo at plus 145, minus 175.
That's not bad.
No, it's very true. No, not at all. It's not bad from my perspective because I feel it's a decent line to bet, and it's not bad from your perspective because
and for for those who are tuning in, Aaron, I've been an MMA super fan for over like 12 years, but I've never been a fan of the betting odds. I've just watched because of the sport. Aaron has been teaching me a little bit about odds and how the betting works, and it does really play a factor. So I'm learning it. And plus 140, I'm comfortable taking the underdog on that one.
Yeah, sorry, the dogs got excited there, but yeah, no, that's.
They're
I think
pulling
that's.
with me. They're taking the dog too.
Yeah,
right?
they're pulling with you, and on my most confident pick of the night, we disagreed. That's totally fine. I'm not shook or anything.
Did you say this is your most confident pick?
Yes.
Fuck you. Honestly, that is some bullshit. You're rolling with that makes me feel horrible about my pick. Let's roll on.
I've gotten my most confident picks wrong a few times lately, so don't worry.
Move on.
I said before you made your pick. But the next fight here is at the 145 division. It is Luis Saldana taking on Austin Lingo in the name fight of the night. Both these guys have phenomenal names. Sorry, I didn't mean to highlight that Bernie Mac highlighted or comment again, but it's a nice comment. But Luis Saldana taking on Austin Lingo here. This is at 145. And I will be breaking down the 8-1 Austin Lights Out Lingo first here, fighting out of Fortis MMA. And he's coming off of a win in his second UFC fight, 27 years old, 5'10", 70-inch reach for him, coming off that win by decision of Jacob Kilburn. Wasn't even close, though, but it's Jacob Kilburn. And before that, faced Yusuf Zalal, who was coming in on short notice. Yusuf Zalal was a pretty significant underdog, minus 225 favorite was Austin Lingo going into that one. And it was just really Lingo was swinging at air for a lot of that fight, then getting taken down later in the fight. So far, Lingo kind of has shown he just kind of is he plants his feet and rips the hooks and rips a lot of power shots. Doesn't really mix it up too much, though. But he's going against a guy in Luis Saldana who also looks to plant his feet and throw. Luis Saldana, 15-6 now. It's on a 5-fight win streak here, fighting out Fight Ready MMA. Defeated Jordan Griffin in that fight. I don't think he won that fight. Jordan Griffin was taking him down pretty at will in that one, and I think the judges got it wrong. You look after the fight, the media scored it. 16 scored it for Jordan Griffin. Only 2 scored it for Luis Saldana. But I think Saldana can't be leaving that fight happy or satisfied with his performance either. So he essentially got a win in a fight that he should have lost. So I guess it's fair for the record, but I'll be interested in this one to see how he rebounds. Against Vince Murdoch on the Contenders series, he looked fantastic. Got front kick finish to finish the fight here. I think he's much more dangerous and more diverse with his strikes. I like Luis Saldana in this fight, unless Austin Lingo decides to become a wrestler, which I've yet to see. So I can't bet on something I haven't seen. Give me Luis Saldana. He's a finisher. Lingo's tough to finish, though. Hasn't been finished. So I'll take Luis Saldana by finish. I'm not sure how. It could be submission or KO. He's got 5 of each. So
this is going brilliant, Aaron. This couldn't be going better. We're disagreeing at the right moments. We're agreeing at the right moments.
The chemistry is exquisite.
It's exquisite. I'm loving it. Thank you so much for having me last minute. I did enough of MMA. This is fantastic. My clipboard's all ready to go. And I have Louise also by finish, but I didn't specify what because I could not decide because I don't know. I feel like I went with stats on that one. I feel like that was a stat pick. This card really it really is it's an interesting one because I feel like any new time or casual viewer will not know any of the fighters on this list. So, even as a longtime viewer, I had to really do extensive research on this. So I went with reach and I went with height on this one. And I went with what I saw on tape study. And I landed with Saldana. I mean, 8-1 is a pretty sick record, but you look at who he went up against, a bunch of like 1-0s, 2-0s, 2-1.
Exactly.
So, and again, I would like to reiterate, everything we say is with respect to every fighter. We respect every fighter, but we gotta calculate here. Featherweight, interesting weight division, but I am gonna go with Luis here.
All right.
I'm going with finish. I just don't know how, honestly.
Yeah, I like Luis inside the distance too, and I have trouble deciding too, so I won't make you pick. Luis is the slight.
That's perfection, honestly.
Luis is the slight favorite here, -125. It's nearly a pick 'em here. I'm really kind of surprised. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I like that price. You can bet it straight up, and I will be betting Luis straight up, and then a little prop inside the distance as well. But yeah, absolutely. We always respect.
Really good vibes from this, Aaron. Aaron, you're a legend, by the way. Follow Aaron the dog. Just one more time for those watching. Drop him a subscribe immediately.
Yeah, I'd like to subscribe. You don't gotta follow me on Instagram. You can just save Bunny for that.
Follow me, subscribe to him. Deal.
Exactly.
I'll give you $10.
But yeah, you're a total legend, Bunny. You're showing up short notice. It's kind of like when you see a short notice fighter just show up and perform. It's like, are you sure you're on short notice? But we're cruising here. I mean, we're through the prelims, believe it or not. Which I really am happy about. And we're on to the main card. It's all taking place on ESPN Plus, though, so it's really.
I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for this fight. This is
my fight. This is my potential fight of the night.
Dude, seriously, I have that written down. Yo, me and Aaron the dog are on the same page. Boston Comments and Aaron the dog are on the same page.
Literally.
For anyone watching.
Yep. And then, look at who's popping in here. What up, Fernando? My friend. We haven't gone to Saeed Yokub yet, but if you want the link, my friend, to come on and give us a little bit of info about Saeed and just about Timo Yama, just let me know and I'll shoot you the link, dude. But either way, thanks for popping over.
Also, for those just popping in, Fernando Padilla has been on one of Aaron the Dog's breakdowns. If you go to his channel, you'll find Fernando Padilla on one of Aaron's breakdowns. And it is a phenomenal episode. You have to watch. Go to Aaron the Dog and look up Fernando Padilla. He is sensational.
Yep, and he's gonna
immediately. Those watching.
Yeah. And he's a better person than anything else. I will say that. So that's awesome, man. Glad to have you in the comments here. Thanks for checking it out, man. You're just in time for our fight of the night. At least my fight of the night. I think you said it was yours as well. We got Brandon Royval, Raw Dog, one of my favorite nicknames in the game, against the Cannibal, Alexander Pantoja. So that's
hungry.
He hungry. And we are going to break down Brandon Royval first. Raw Dog, 12-5 record for the 29-year-old, 5'9", 70.5-inch reach out factory ex Muay Thai in Littleton, Colorado, born in Denver, Colorado. Last fought in November of last year, where he got that really nasty torn labrum against Brandon Moreno. And that was only in November of last year. Got a torn labrum, got chipped bones from the torn labrum and using his injured arm afterwards. So pretty serious injury to come back from. I'm just going to go ahead and put up the shine as I come back to this page because
a loss to Moreno, though, is not something to be ashamed of.
It also came by injury. Before that, had a really good war with Kai Kara France, but ended up getting Kai into a scramble, finishing him with a guillotine. Exactly. Tim Elliott, same type of thing, got into a scramble and arm triangle choked him. Hadn't lost since that Casey Kenny decision back in LFA. Has a win over current flyweight champion Charles Johnson, Jerome Rivera, former UFC competitor as well. Just faced a very good level of competition. And he was so fun to watch until that injury. And it was just like, it was a fantastic little run there. But that injury and the speed he's coming back from it I think it's a lot to come back and immediately face a guy like Alexandre Pantoja. This guy may be the second or third hardest hitter in the division. Also has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, fights off American Top Team, has a tremendous record at 23-5, 31 years old. I mean, he's got it all on his side here. 5'5", 68-inch reach, a slight reach disadvantage. Coming off a win over Manel Kape. Very close fight, though. Manel Kape could have arguably won that fight, but they gave it to him. Before that, had a really close grappling type of fight with Askar Askarov. For Brandon Royval to win this fight, I think it's got to be a scramble fest. I think that it's got to be 3 rounds of just constant grappling. And I'm just not sure how that arm, how that shoulder, how he's going to be coming off that injury. That it really, unfortunately, is an injury that could be a game changer for his career. This is such a tough fight to come back from. Also, I mean, he was facing the top of the top before this, but I think Pantoja is the next in line for a title shot, frankly, after Davidson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno run it back. So it's tough for Royval here. I'm worried he's coming back a little too soon. And I just think stand-up wise, he could get cracked in this fight and put away. I think on the ground and grappling, it's a 50-50 type of fight. But I'm going to go with Pantoja here. I'm just going to take Pantoja straight up. I think that he does. I guess I'll say decision, but
damn.
Your
Dude,
thoughts,
I'm low-key psyched for this fight. I really do. Every time I do a tape study, even if it's last minute, Aaron, when you say shit that lines up with what I've got written here on the clipboard don't lie. Clipboard don't lie.
Tape study don't lie.
Tape study don't lie. This is going to be fight of the night. This was honestly the one fight on this card. No, absolutely no disrespect to any of these fighters, but this was the one fight that really brought a shimmer to my eyes. A loss to Brandon Moreno is nothing to be ashamed of. But Brandon also has 8 finishes by submission. Submissions to me mean more than anything in MMA. I don't train, so I'm speaking purely as a fan. But that shit hits me deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Then
again, those watching know I love the Brazilians. So on the counterpoint, Alexandre is Brazilian. It's really tugging at my heartstrings here. The Cannibal, that's a fierce fucking nickname, dude. It's hard to go against someone that went to eat another person. But I am going to go with Brandon. Alexandre, he's got a lot more experience in the cage. Experience, regardless of how many losses you have, speaks volumes. 12-5, kind of a janky record, but if you look at who he's lost to, it speaks volumes again. I'm going by Brandon.
Wow.
I also think it's going to go the distance. But regardless, since I don't bet, and I'll repeat that every fight, since I don't bet, this is going to be a banger. I'm going to win no matter who comes out on top. This
Correct.
is a great fight. I'm psyched for this fight. And you know what? Honestly, I'm not usually looking forward to flyweights. No disrespect, again.
Never.
But flyweight's not usually my thing. I'm more of a welterweight, light heavyweight type girl, but I'm psyched for this matchup. I think it's going to be a great time, even if it does go to the distance, no finish. So,
I think that's fantastic. So you got Brandon Royval. We got another disagreement. Yeah. It's interesting because we got disagreement on the steak fight, which is fine. Like, steak fights are definitely made for disagreements, but you've disagreed with me on 2 of my most confident picks now on the card.
Oh, I fucking love it, dude.
You got me shook.
Let's
go. I love it. Hey,
Aaron.
Minus 170 favorite is Pantoja. The plus 150 underdog is Brandon Royval. So the odds are definitely not counting out Brandon here. He's got to be an underdog coming into this fight off an injury and facing one of the best in the division. There's no shame in any of that. So interesting here.
Are you still here? What do you think, Padilla?
Yeah. Fernando, what do you think? Who'd you pick if you're still here? Totally put Fernando on the spot here. He probably left, or he's like, "Oh my God, these two are like so obnoxious." But either way, I think that I'm shocked. I thought we were gonna agree on that between me picking a Brazilian and everything, but
I know normally roll with the Brazilians, but no, not this time.
She's
not
unpredictable.
I'm not confident on this one. It's either way, it's gonna be a great fight no matter what. So.
Yep, I agree with that. She is unpredictable. Next fight here is at 155. We got Vince from Hell Purcell taking on Austin Thud Hubbard here. I will be breaking down Mr. Hubbard first. He's 13-5, fighting out of Team Elevation in Denver, Colorado. 29.5 years old, 5'10", 71-inch reach here. Basically the same reach for Vince Purcell, so they match up well there. 13-5. Hopefully not what Brandon Royval is after this weekend. Hopefully that's a 12-6, so I'm right. But Austin Hubbard coming off that Dakota Bush fight where Dakota Bush took it on short notice. Austin Hubbard did what he needed to do in there. Really dominated the grappling, looked good in the striking. Before that, was put away by Joe Selecki inside of a round, but usually that's not what would happen. Max Roshkov, he made quit after round 2. And then Marco Madsen, who is fighting in the co-main event of this card, he was able to, and then Fernando said, sorry, he didn't hear that. I'm still here. Who you got in this fight, dude? Or Brandon Royval? Brandon Royval. Are you with Brandon Royval or are you with Pantoja? Let me know if you're
Let me know.
But yeah.
Padilla. Let me know. Are you with Royval or are you with Pantoja? Come on, you gotta just type it in, babe. Just type it in real quick.
Seriously, Austin Hubbard has just gotten the who's who of grapplers so far in his career. And we got Royval. There we go. Another shock, someone with the bunny. But Davi,
Fernando, thank you.
I mean, we've seen with Austin Hubbard, he's alternating losses and wins. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. He won. So going into this fight with Vince Purcell, the 13-2 opponent here, I think Vince Purcell is extremely underrated, underappreciated. Doesn't do anything too flashy, but very effective. 38 years old now. For the Big John McCarthy's Ultimate Trading Academy representative on a 2-fight win streak here. Those fights coming over Roosevelt Roberts and Jim Miller. Very good wins. His loss coming to Gregor Gillespie. No shame there. Before that, had won 4 straight fights prior to losing his UFC debut. Beat Anthony Nishikawani, Joaquin Silva. Those are a couple of pretty solid wins there. I think this is a really close back and forth affair here. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's going to be really close. I'm leaning ever so slightly towards Austin Hubbard, however, here. I think that Vince Purcell, 38 years old, the slowdown starts to happen at 155 very quickly. Austin Hubbard has faced a ton of grapplers in his UFC career, and other than Joe Selecki, he was able to survive. And Marco Madsen, that fight particularly really impressed me. He won the 3rd round of that fight. I think that Hubbard's learning to start a little quicker in these fights. Team Elevation, the youth is on his side. Significant striking advantage. Give me Austin Hubbard by decision.
Damn it. I literally have Vince by decision.
Okay. I was close. I just kind of switched my last bit of tape study.
You know what I was surprised when I looked up when I was doing the tape study? I feel like Austin Hubbard has been around. Like when I saw 13-5, I was like, why do I feel like he has fought 30 fights?
He just always has fought like a veteran. He's never fought like a young, like excited. He never has fought like Brandon Royval.
Right? I feel like I was shocked when I found out he has only had 18 fights. I'm like,
he's only 30. He's only 30.
That I couldn't believe. I'm like, I must be confusing Hubbard for someone else.
No, I get you. Regardless. Oh boy, that if looks could kill, I'd be buried right now. Jeez.
Padilla, I'm so glad you rolled with me on that one. But
Of course,
it's hard to go with a 38-year-old versus a fucking 29-year-old. That's like some sketchy territory there.
Especially because Vince has had some serious back injuries also.
Back injuries.
Motorcycle accident, I believe.
Being 40, you know what I mean? Like that's a bad combo against a young buck at 29 years old. You know, like 29 is young. Most of their fighters start their prime at 29. So that was a questionable. I'm still as I'm talking to you here, I'm still blown away that Hubbard has only had 18 fights professional. Yeah. But I don't question the clipboard, Aaron. I wrote down, you know, I'm speaking to you now and I'm questioning it, but I wrote down Vince by decision, and I guess it's there.
So this is our fourth disagreement now. I love it, honestly. I think this is a fight that makes all the sense in the world for both of us to have a side in. I do think that this is a very close fight. Both fighters I see winning a round in this one as well. So totally fair. The odds have it as a straight pick of -110 both sides.
I love that. That shit makes me so happy because I don't have to fucking worry about odds at all. It's like even slate, clean, like nothing I gotta worry about.
No, this is a totally reasonable.
If you look at the records, it's a 13-2 versus a 13-5. So there's like a 10-year difference, almost a 10-year difference, but their records are the same. So it's a pretty cool fight to disagree on. We'll see who went where, what. It'll be a cool way to decipher.
Yeah,
so
it will make that fight a lot more enjoyable to watch. I do think it's a fight that potentially could be a little bit of a grinding affair, a little bit slower paced, and a little bit tough for people to watch. But I just think it's because they really match up well with each other. I see your argument for why you picked Vince. You know, he's one thing that he's really good at is defensively. He doesn't take a lot of strikes, and he only takes 2 strikes per minute, which is like absolutely nothing. And then his takedown accuracy is really great, but Hubbard has really incredible takedown defense too, and has faced the best of the best. It's a super close fight. It's still tripping me out that Austin Hubbard's only had 18 fights, and he seems like such a big name, like it's such a seasoned vet. But I don't know. That's true. Well, you look at his record too, and he's faced a ton of high tests throughout his career as well, even into LFA. So you don't see these.
You look at who they're facing, top 10 lightweights. You're like, it's hard. It's hard not to compare them to the top 10, top 5 lightweights in the division. And it, you know, like you can't do that because not everybody's going to be top 10. There are fighters that are top 30 that deserve recognition, but it is hard not to compare them. And like looking at these two, I don't know. It is hard. You know, I can't believe that Vince is 38 years old. That's insane to me.
Yeah. And I know what you're saying though. They're just in that next echelon of the division. They're not quite top 15, but they're top 30 to top 20 fighters, both these guys. So really they're seeing who can win and lose to their next opponent, essentially, is what we're saying.
Exactly. And not everything's gonna be like if you're an MMA casual, maybe you're only looking at the top 10, but there are far more fighters than beyond the top 10 fighters in each division that you need to appreciate and respect. Which is why I'm still blown away that Austin Hubbard is only like 13-5. I can't believe that.
Yeah, no, not even 30 years.
Region, and he's not, you know.
Yeah, not even 30 years old yet.
Literally,
fighting on Team Elevation, preparing for this fight with Justin Gaethje and others. We know Gaethje's getting ready for a big fight, so really good fight there.
I don't think that's going to happen, though, to be honest.
That's for a whole nother podcast.
It's super.
But we'll see. But really good fight here coming up next. Hopefully Fernando Padilla is still with us of Team Oyama because we have a Team Oyama representative here. So I'd love for him to kind of put his thoughts in. But we got Trevin 5-star General Jones taking on Saeed Yokub Kakaramanov. The bantamweight division this one's at. Trevin Jones, if you've been following Trevin Jones, he's had his last 4, and then there we go, my boy Saeed.
Thank you, Padilla. You are the fucking ghost.
Yeah. Shout out to Team Oyama here. Fernando Padilla of Team Oyama, of course, as is Saeed Yokub. Saeed Yokub, the bantamweight out of Uzbekistan. Team Oyama product, 25 years old and 9 months. This guy is a wild man. I really, really like what I've seen so far out of him. He won the CFFC bantamweight title in his last fight against Tyson Lin. And basically in the interview afterwards with CM Punk, he said, I don't give a fuck about this title. I'm waiting for my call from the UFC. I don't give a fuck about this shit. I'm not here for this. I'm here for bigger and better things. So if nothing else, Saeed certainly believes in himself, but for good reason from what I've been able to see. His fight before that was against Askar, a 10-0 opponent. Put him away in under 40 seconds in that fight. And yeah, Fernando definitely in here giving his boy some respect, saying he loves it. Like, you know, Fernando, yeah, go ahead.
Go drop him a follow. Go drop Fernando Padilla. It's in there right in the chat. You can see it right there. Right there. He's just popped up on the chat. Go follow him on Instagram. He's got great content. He's a great fighter, and he's a legend.
Yep, and he's going to make some noise in the UFC coming off of an elbow.
Right, he is.
Coming off an elbow KO of his own to get his UFC contract there. But yeah, Saeed, really impressive KO in CFFC. Before that, KO'd Askar, who was actually signed by the UFC to take on Cody Stamann, but then didn't make weight. But that's a really impressive win for Saeed, for sure. His losses are to Pipe Vargas by flying knee, a very good opponent at 6-1, and Umar Nurmagomedov, who we saw Umar face off against Sergey Morozov in his UFC debut, and that was like absolutely a wild. Thank you. There we go. Luis is subscribing. Appreciate it, Luis.
Yes, thank you, Luis.
It is Saeed time, guys, according to Fernando. And Fernando obviously saying thank you to Bunny because Bunny is the realest of them all. And yeah, can't beat the Bunny support. But yeah, really, Saeed is very young, still 25 years old. He took this opportunity on short notice. Trevin Jones obviously has had a lot of fighters pull out recently. I think he's had 4 fighters pull out in preparation for his upcoming fight, which is crazy. But 13-6 is 5-star Trevin Jones, 5'7", 70-inch reach out of Vita BJJ, coming off of basically, I'll say 2 straight wins. Timur Valiev was a no contest because he failed a marijuana test on short notice. So he's won 2 straight. He ended up knocking.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have a question. You said he failed the marijuana test was that pre the
USADA rule change? Yes.
All right.
But it was also Trevin took the fight on 5 days notice. So
okay, but don't you? All right, never mind. I have a couple questions, but I can ask you after the show.
Okay, yeah, just no problem. I mean, I'm looking forward.
Questions.
I'm looking forward to a post show. But yeah, his last 3 opponents that he's had set up for July and now August are Tony Kelly, pulled out from injury. Ronnie Lawrence missed weight. Mana Martinez, he was supposed to face this week. He ended up having to pull out as well. And now each time he's gotten a tough replacement. And now I think Saeed Crocker-Romanov could be the toughest of those. I think this is a really interesting fight here. Trevin has very, very good hands, but doesn't always put the volume together. Sometimes fights a little bit off his back foot and a little bit, a little bit relaxed. Will lose the first round before he comes back at times. A little bit of a slow starter is what I wanted to say. And Saeed coming in on short notice, coming into his UFC debut, and just the way he fights, he's going to blitz, and he's got power. Fernando can confirm that he hits very hard for a 135er, Fernando being a 145er. I'm sure they've trained together quite a bit. Saeed has a huge belief in himself. He has an entire country behind him in Uzbekistan who they have Miradarov, and other than that, they don't have a lot of athletes to be behind. And so I'm really tempted in this fight, short notice, to take Saeed Yukub I think that Trevin Jones preparing for so many different opponents puts him in a very tough position. Also, Saeed, if he's the one on his front foot and putting Trevin on his back foot, he's got to watch out for those check hooks, the counters. But I'm going to go with the Team Oyama representative here. Saeed Yokub, go ahead. You're on the dog squad. Saeed by KO.
How many bantamweights do we have on this fucking card, dude? We have 4?
I think 4 fights, yes.
Jesus Christ. That was a great breakdown.
By the way, Trevin has only been finished one time in his career. It was by rear naked choke. He's got 3 split decision losses on his career. Part of why he has those split decisions is because of how he fights. He doesn't throw enough volume, makes these fights quicker, closer. Saeed throws a lot of volume, really believes in himself. I'm just worried about the short notice here and the step up here, but I'm going to take a shot on the dog.
I'm also going to shot on the dog. Surprising me neither. But
wow.
But it's hard. I know. And listen, it's hard to go against anybody that ends their last name in an OV. Like the Medovs and the Ahmedovs, those are all people you don't want to fuck with. But and like Trevin Jones, I don't know. He's another emotional. We got another emotional fighter. He's very aggressive. Like if he feels like he's getting an advantage or he's getting power, he is going to fucking capitalize, and that's where his advantage comes in. If he sees he landed a strike or he's landed some sort of I don't know, if he feels like he's got you, he's going to capitalize, and that will get him the win. So I literally have written down my favorite game time decision. And I swear to God,
I love it.
Hearing your breakdown, I am going to go with Trevin. Not to say that Saeed isn't good. He is good, but I watched some of his Fernando. Those names they're very fucking
dangerous. Yo, Saeed Yakub Rakahermanov.
Anything that ends in an OV, watch out. I'm telling you. But I don't know. Trevin's on a three fight win streak. I'm not a big fan of streaks or undefeated records, and I don't know. This was a game time decision. Again, I don't bet, so I'm pretty. He has a lot of canceled fights, which can kind of mentally. I don't care what you say, it can kind of mentally fuck with you. You prepare for a fight, it gets canceled, you got to restart. Prepare for another fight. He's got like 3 canceled fights, I think, in a row.
Yep.
Regardless, I'm also not a huge fan of bantamweight. It's not my favorite division, but 13-6, 8-2. That's within a fairly close range of records. It's good, easily comparable. But I'm last minute decision. I'm going Trevin, and I'm going. It's really punches against wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Trevin Jones, and honestly, I'm not sure I can confidently pick, but I'm gonna go with the finish. Let's go KO because I can't decide, and I don't bet, so there's nothing against.
Yeah, and always respect. Trevin Jones is the -150 favorite. I got the underdog at +125 and Saeed.
And you know what? I've gone like 4 dogs in a row now. It feels good to go with the favorite.
Yeah, you can't. They can't all be dogs. So it is good to mix it up. We've got our 5th disagreement of the night. We're going to be chirping on Saturday.
I fucking love it, Aaron. Bring it.
We're about to be chirping, yo. Can we make it a 6th disagreement? I think that my most disagreements ever with Bryan was 7. So maybe.
Question though, did Bryan go 10 and 13 in the last card? Because Bunny did.
But Bunny did. Next fight here. I didn't win anything. Next fight here we got at heavyweight. This might be a disaster. We got Chase Sherman taking on Parker Porter. Boy, this is a fight. This is like this isn't even a steak fight. This is a spam fight. Parker Porter, I'll be breaking down first here. 11-6. He has a loss to John Jones on his career, so there's that. 36 years old, 6 foot 75-inch reach for the heavyweight. Here, fighting out of New Britain, Connecticut. Won his last fight out against Josh Parisian. That was a rough one for me. I bet on Josh Parisian in that fight. Definitely pretty disappointed. Josh got pretty tired in that one. Parker took his shots and carried through. Parker's UFC debut against Chris Daukaus was less than stellar. Took about every shot that Chris Daukaus threw right on the front of his old noggin before being put out at the end of the first round. Parker Porter, he definitely gets his finishes particularly late. Does have a little bit of a misleading body type, but his cardio is definitely there. He lost second round finishes, third round finishes. However, he also has been finished in all of his losses. He's been finished by submission as well as punches. He was knocked out by John Jones in 36 seconds. Doesn't have a ton.
You can't even use because John Jones is on a different level. So that's
very true. This fight was supposed to happen in April of this year, and Parker Porter withdrew, and the UFC was like, God damn it, we need to see Chase Sherman versus Parker Porter. The people want it. 4 months later, I guess we're getting it. Like, they're just
God, Aaron, you're funny, dude.
Thanks. It's just like kind of like when you get like the vegetables and you have to like keep chewing them until you swallow them. From your, it's like, okay.
That was the funniest thing you ever.
But Chase Sherman, 15-7 for the Vanilla Gorilla, 6'4", 78-inch reach. He's got an 8-inch reach advantage, 31 years old, so he's the younger of the two opponents here. Fighting off American top team Mississippi, coming off a very close loss to Andre Arlovsky in that one. Kind of question that he lost that one. Before that, had a really impressive fight against Ike Villanueva. Good punches, good elbows. Has good movement, good volume. For sure, his defense, not always the best. He kind of just goes back and with his head straight up a lot of the times. So don't love to see that. I think this one could be a real dirty one, though. Real dirty. So I just, I'm sure you have, Brandon. We're all salivating for this fight.
It's still not fight of the night, though. It's still not fight of the night. Fight of the night.
No, he's joking around. No one's salivating for Chase Sherman versus
Fuck you, Brandon.
You know what? I flipped the coin. I'll be honest. Parker Porter by decision.
He said we're salivating. honestly, Aaron, it's like 11-6. Again, no disrespect because I'm not a fighter.
Of course not.
But 11-6. What are you doing? And
15-7.
What are you doing?
15-7 with bare knuckle fights. With bare knuckle fights in the last, and bare knuckle fights in the last 2 years.
And I'm sick. Honestly, I feel like I'm going to pick Porter because I don't like bare knuckle fighting. I don't know if you know me, but Bunny's not a fan at all of the bare knuckle fighting. I think it's fucking dumb. That's a whole nother podcast. Regardless, whatever. I'm going, and I have absolutely no emotional attachment to this, even though I love heavyweight. I have no emotional attachment, but because I'm a protester of bare knuckle fighting. Sorry, I'm going with Parker Porter, and I'll also go decision because I don't fucking care at all.
I'm just so confused. I thought this was definitely a disagreement. I'm like, we're disagreeing this whole card.
And no, absolutely not. I don't like bare knuckle fighting. I think it's fucking dumb, and I'm sorry for anyone that's associated with it. My opinion, I'm not going to change it. And because Chase Sherman is so fucking active in bare knuckle, fuck you. I'm going with fucking Porter, and I hope he destroys you.
Oh my God. Tell us how you really feel. Plus 155 underdog is Parker Porter. Minus 170 on Chase Sherman. That's crazy. Chase Sherman.
How is it that crazy? How is minus 140 different than a minus 170?
Plus 140.
Oh, you said plus. All right.
Yeah, because he's the underdog. But yeah, Chase Sherman, I think, is a little bit too heavy of a favorite here, is my point. That's what I was saying.
But he's slow to, he's like quick. He explodes out of the front, right? But then he kind of slows down quick. So
right, and Parker Porter kind of just keeps plodding forward and getting stronger.
Exactly. But here's the counter is like because Chase Sherman's so avid in bare knuckle, maybe he's looking to get that quick fucking, I don't know, quick finish. So it really is. It is a conflicting fight. I don't know. He's coming off a loss.
Yep.
Fucking, I don't know. Porter by decision. I don't care. Move on.
I somehow agree with you on that fight. Next fight
somehow.
here. Next, what's that?
No.
Because I just
back up.
Yeah.
What do you mean you somehow disagree with me?
I agree with you. I said I somehow agree with you.
What is that word? What? Elaborate.
So what that word means is that I'm shocked that there's two people on this show picking Parker Porter.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough.
Is that okay? That's really what I meant by it. All right, I'll make sure to put that. I'll make sure that put that in the timestamps. Aaron defends his life from Bunny at 1:39:55.
Moving on.
Moving on to the next fight here. Okay, lives to fight another day. We are at the co-main event here at 1:55. They should just strap on the old wrestling shoes because we got Clay Guida taking on Marco Madsen, the Olympian Marco Madsen taking on the Carpenter Clay Guida. Marco Madsen, I'm not sure if you got to see his press conference coming into this week, but the last year has definitely been kind of hell for him. His house got flooded. They found black mold in it. He had to move out of his house. His wife ended up getting diagnosed with MS. This all happened in the last 8 months. This all happened. And yeah, he's been living out of his card. And Elliot, what are you talking about, man? This is a great co-main event. None of this blasphemy here.
Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Elliot, I'm a big fan of you, but that's
crazy. This is a I love this main event actually.
Marco prime rib, bro.
This is really great.
All right, keep going with your breakdown. Ignore that.
Marco Madsen here though, 36 years old now, fighting out of Denmark. He's a two-time Olympian, Olympic silver medalist, Olympic bronze medalist, 10-0 as an MMA fighter. Last fought in March of last year, and then I kind of went over how things had been going for him. But fighting out Fight Ready MMA, defeated Austin Hubbard in a really good fight. He won the first 2 rounds, just blasting away with his wrestling, with his grappling, and looked really good. But Hubbard did come back in that 3rd round. Before that, ground and pound finish of Danilo Belluardo, a 12-5 opponent in his debut. Now he's taking a huge step up, though. He is getting into a real test here in Clay Guida, who has 56 fights in his career. Absolutely crazy.
That's some Olynyk shit.
It's absolutely crazy. 36-20, and this guy has fought such talent. Still fighting out of Jackson Winklejohn, 39 years old now, 5'7", 70-inch reach, but coming off a win of Michael Johnson in his last fight there, really was impressive there with his pace, with his wrestling, with his grappling, with his strike defense, his head movement. I mean, he looked rejuvenated in that fight. Before that, lost a close fight to Bobby Green, lost a quick fight to Jim Miller, beat BJ Penn, lost to Charles Oliveira, beat Joe Lozon and Eric Koch. Just losing to really tough opponents. Also lost to Brian Ortega. Dude, I just think
record is scary though.
I think that for this fight, it's with Madsen, who I got to know how his conditioning is in this fight, because that's what Clay Guida is going to push. That's what Clay Guida is going to test from bell to bell there. Has shown he's a propensity to slow down at almost 37 years old. I think that he's not getting quicker with regards to the speed and the recovery here. So this is a really tough fight for me. But I think that I'm going to lean towards Madsen still, just because I think he's going to be able to bank those first couple rounds of this fight. I think the 3rd round, Clay's going to come on strong. And I just think that it's just going to be Marco Madsen's ability to get this fight to the ground enough in those first 2 rounds and put enough damage on and win those first 2. So I'm going to take Madsen, but I'm going to be sweating it because I think by the third round we're going to see Clay pushing the pace, Clay being Clay Guida. I don't see Mark being able to put him away, so that makes me concerned with playing 3 rounds. But I'm just telling everybody, I'm not a huge press conference person, but go look up Marco Madsen's press conference. And
I respect you a lot, Aaron, for that, because I'm also not a press conference person. To me, it's just like reality TV shit talking. It really doesn't give me a whole lot of info. I don't care who roasted who. Like, it doesn't really signify anything about who's going to win on the fights. It really is. So I've always respected that about you. It's kind of, sometimes it can be fun, but it does not really give you any insight on who's going to win the fight at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. But yeah, just like as a little side to go watch that, it's not at all playing a factor in my pick here. But I just think that Clay Guida, I don't think he even wrestled in college. Like, I think he's like a high school wrestler who just somehow is an MMA fighter, has become one of the best MMA wrestlers of all time. And it's just like, there's just a part of me that it's like, he's an Olympian, he's world class, like, but I might be really hitting myself for not going with Clay. What's your thoughts on this fight, Bunny?
Honestly, this one, I'm perfectly happy with disagreeing with you, because if you look at Mark's record, you're like, how could you possibly go against his record? Look at who he's fought. Look at that just on the screen right now. If you don't have any MMA experience, right? Look at the screen right now, and that'll tell you everything you need to know about his record, regardless of who you know, regardless of who the names are.
His only loss is coming at the Olympics.
That is insane. So you'd be out of your mind to go against someone like him. But if you've been watching as long as I have, then there's a reason to pick Clay Guida, and that's who I'm picking. But again, I don't bet on MMA, and I'll say it every fight. You can laugh all you want. I'm going to say it for the new viewers. I don't put money on this, so this is purely heart. I'm going with Clay Guida because I've watched him since I first got into MMA. This is a hard pick, but this is going to be such a fun fight because it really is like a almost 40-year-old, fucking this is
40-year-old with a 25-year-old's gas tank.
Right, though, that's what I mean, and he's going against an almost 40-year-old who's undefeated. So, but you also know me. If you've watched previous breakdowns, I don't love undefeated records. So, like, based on bias, I'm not a huge fan of undefeated records. I feel like that loss is going to come no matter what. I'm going Clay Guida, but it was hard to decide whether this fight was going to be fight of the night or whether we were going to have who was it? Chase Sherman as fight of the night. So this is
look at Fernando. First of all, look at Fernando.
Loco. I don't give a shit, Loco. Yeah, tú sabes.
Look, legend Guida.
Wait, who's he calling Loco? Me or you?
No, he's saying like it's crazy what Guida's been able to do, and he's going with the legend Guida also.
It's hard to pick. He's a savage. I don't know where he's getting his youthfulness from, but I want it. 36-20 is some Olynyk shit. That is
he doesn't get tired. He literally, after these crazy wars, gets up and sprints around the octagon.
He doesn't get tired, and Father Time doesn't give a shit about Clay Guida. He's like, you gotta.
It does about that lettuce on top. You see more of his.
Does the hairline matter in MMA? Go ask Usman. Come on. Fuck out of here with the hairline. I don't give a shit about his hairline. I care about his fighting style. I'm going with Guida because I've been watching him since I was in high school. I don't care about how many losses. He's going off a lot of losses with maybe one or two wins peppered in there. But this is a hard pick. I love Guida. You know what? I think 10-0 is insane. This is one of those fights that because I don't bet, I get to enjoy for the fucking novelty, dude. And who knows when Guida's last fight is going to be. I'm going to roll with him until the end. I'm going Guida, and I'm going to go with a finish. He's a fucking almost 40-year-old with something to fucking prove. So
Fernando coming in here.
Let's give fucking Mark his first fucking loss. Let's go. Guida's going to give him his first loss. You heard it here, folks.
And Fernando coming in top tier cardio. He is loco.
Es loca, sí, ya te sabes, ya te sabes.
Oh man, you gotta love it though. You gotta love it. I'll get to the odds real quick here, and then we only got one more fight here left on the card here. But Clay Guida is the plus 135 underdog, minus 155 favorite.
Fucking day,
Man,
perro.
El perro.
Sí, perro, por favor. What do you say? Bilingual? Sí, aprendiendo a hablar español, Elliot. Fuck out of here, motherfucker.
Oh man, you're the best, Bunny. But we have made it to the main event of the evening.
Dude, we're not even 2 hours in yet, Aaron. Too. Can you imagine that?
With the 20-minute interview and
I know
everything else.
With Fabio peppered in there. Come on.
Yep, Fabio peppered in there, and who knows? Fernando is cracking up at you right now, though. I think Fernando is enjoying the Bunny show. Oh my God, Bunny, you're classic. But we are on to the main event in Bryan Battle's division of the middleweight division here. Jared Cannonier, the Killer Gorilla, taking on Kelvin Gastelum here. 17-7 against 13-5, 37.5 versus 29 in 9 months. Nearly 30-year-old Kelvin Gastelum. I will be breaking down Kelvin Gastelum first in this fight here. 17-7 for the former Ultimate Fighter winner. He is 5'9" with a 71.5-inch reach, so very undersized for the division, but we know at 170 he was struggling quite a bit. Fighting at Yuma United Mixed Martial Arts, coming off that loss to Robert Whitaker, as is Jared Cannonier. So no shame there. Before that, had a very impressive win over Ian Heinisch. But
dude, Aaron, you always come in clutch with the no shame. Like losses, you credit losses as they should be credited. You have to look at losses, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but you really appreciate losses in the way that they should be deserved. Like people see losses and they're like, "Ah, you fucking 4 losses in a row."
What up, Ferris?
Who they lost to?
Absolutely.
And I value that about you a lot, Aaron. Aaron the dog.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Boston Comments, the Bunny. I appreciate that.
Sorry for interrupting. I pulled a Brandon there. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Absolutely. Just shout out real quick to Ferris. Ferris is a legend. Thank you for joining us, Ferris. Jay, thank you for joining us as well. Jay thinks this is going to be fight of the night. And then
you're fine, though.
Davis pointing out the ears. We just got mentioned by Brawler Bible again on his Instagram story.
Who is the GOAT, by the way? The GOAT of all MMA pages. Brawler Bible. Go follow him.
Literally. I'm going to type that in the chat right now. Follow Brawler Bible.
Wait, I'm going to take a picture of Aaron. Aaron, wait. Let me take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Because, we're all about marketing. I have a degree in marketing. That's all.
Yeah, and Bunny, follow Boston Comments as well. If you're not following Boston Comments, you are absolutely insane. Most of the people here are already following her, so that's great. But in case you're not, definitely follow her. But this is going to be a really good fight here, and we'll get into it. I'll break down Kelvin a little more here. He has lost 4 of his last 5. But you got to look at who he's losing to, how he's losing these fights. Israel Adesanya, it was 2 rounds to 2 going into the 4th round of that fight. Yes, Kelvin lost the 10-8 5th round. But Kelvin went out on his shield. He went out there and he tried to take it. He didn't. What I fear is after that was kind of getting to the pinnacle and never quite going to get to that level again, is my concern here. Darren Till was a split decision loss. That was really close. He got heel hooked inside of just outside of a minute by Jack Hermanson. And oh shit, look who's here, Bunny.
Who?
The fucking GOAT himself.
Bro, we were just talking about you on.
Yeah, man, we were just talking about the GOAT.
About Brawler Bible. I swear to God, look, Fernando Padilla is here.
Yeah, we do. We got Fernando Padilla. We got the Brawler Bible. We got
fucking way we got Brawler Bible here. I'm gonna pass out, dude. I got my clipboard here.
We got Fernando, Brawler Bible. I'm just saying, if you want to make a post about someone anytime soon, Fernando Padilla post
No
would be.
way, is he here right now?
Here, I'll put it on the screen so you can get the picture.
Oh my god, dude. Brawler Bible is the GOAT of all MMA pages. Just so you fucking know. Oh.
Yeah. Like, if you just want to get inspired by someone who truly recognizes the game, watches the damn prelims.
Dude.
But yeah, seriously, Brawler Bible, a Fernando Padilla feature would be gorgeous. And I'm sure he'd be open to a DM too. Just saying. But focus. We're almost through this. 4 of his last 5 have been losses for Kelvin, losing to the best of the best in Manson, Till, Adesanya, and Whitaker. He's also beat some of the best in Bisping, Jacare, so he went on a little bit of a retirement tour there. Ian Heinisch was a very good win. Tim Kennedy, some very solid wins here. Jared Cannonier, no spring chicken himself, 35 and a half years old, former heavyweight, former light heavyweight, now middleweight. Definitely just is a specimen in there, 13-5, fighting out of MMA Lab in Phoenix, Arizona, originally from Alaska. Definitely coming off of a very dominant getting dominated loss to Robert Whitaker. It's been kind of interesting this week. Cannonier said he lost.
It's a respectable loss. Any loss to Whitaker is one to be respected. I don't care. Who the fuck is that, dude? Oh, Dave is in the house.
And Dave just kicks the door in and just lets himself in.
Before anybody says anything, Brawler Bible.
I didn't think it would just let me in. I thought you would have to add me to.
Yeah, I thought I'd have to add you too, but you own the place.
Brawler Bible is in the chat right now. Take a look, see. Just take a look, see.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Brawler? Are you familiar with the Brawler Bible? He's the best.
Right now, dude.
He's the best Instagram account in MMA.
Oh my
Go ahead and follow him. But yeah, he's great.
I'm intrigued. I cannot wait.
Oh yeah, Dave and the Brawler Bible need to connect. But go ahead and go check out that page. Seriously, it's an incredible page, and we appreciate the support. He's been giving us shout outs all day.
Nice.
Also,
today,
Fernando Padilla in the chat here. We got the legends in the chat tonight. So we got killers. We had Fabio Charant join us earlier.
Tonight, yo, thank you, everybody.
I almost think I should leave. I don't know. Am I gonna bring anything to the table?
Dave.
I mean, what can I say? But we'll go ahead and go to the big screen here so that hair can almost make it on screen there. Look at that hair.
Aaron, yo, I'm trying not to fangirl out with all the love we're receiving tonight, but come on, dude.
It's interesting. It's interesting. The most love happens on the shows when Bunny is a co-host. I just don't know what the correlation there is, Dave. I don't know if you have any guesses. We can talk about it off screen, though, of course.
Yeah, off screen.
I just can't figure out what it could be. She doesn't know what she's doing, though. But I do. Shout out to Icon. Shout out to Icon Fighting. Go ahead and show that. Icon is currently on Fight Pass now. Great fights over there. And if you're doing the research,
big announcement coming soon.
And a huge announcement coming soon. We always welcome him here, but follow Dave Van Auken, follow Fight Bananas. Obviously, you can see the background. Shout out to them for allowing me to use their StreamYard, because without them, I wouldn't have an opportunity. Bunny, what do you got to say?
Brawler Bible. I'll follow him since the jump, so I got to keep shouting him out as long as he's here.
Goodness.
I'm going to skip over him all day.
Absolutely.
Right after this, I'm going there right in there. I'm going to the Bible.
Dude, you're gonna be messaging us later, and you're gonna thank us. I'm telling you, he gets it almost to the level that Bunny and I do, and you. So it's like that kind of thing.
Brawler gives love to fighters who most people just throw to the side after maybe 1 or 2 losses, and that's what I've always respected about Brawler Bible. He gets it on a level that Dave, that you get it on a level that Aaron gets it on a level that I get it, that goes beyond any sort of expertise. It's passion. Brawler gets it on a level that only I've recognized through Aaron and through Dave, and it's a beautiful thing. And still here. I'm simping for real, dude.
You guys are so crazy. How many? I would assume so. For 2 hours in, you guys are what? 3, 4 fights in?
You'll be very proud.
Fuck you, Dave. We're at the main event. Fuck you. We're at Cannonier already, Dave.
Are you, dude? I was in here just for Marco Madsen. That's all I was in here for.
Showed up for the main card.
Yeah, but here's the interesting part. Is that Bunny's a little bit fired up. She's on short notice, so you got to realize she's gassing by the main event now. And then it's just like Brawler Bible. You made our night, dude. You have no idea. The dance you're gonna bark for a second.
I don't know. Out of the fucking nowhere, I'm trying to be calm.
Yeah, I mean it's good for the simp shoe to be on the other foot for once here. It's like the simper becomes the simpy.
The last time all three of us were on the same show, Bunny was just like ready for bed, and she was like, had no input at all. This is the Bunny we're used to.
Yeah.
I feel like I was a real twat the last time I was on your show. I had like a 13-hour work day. I was a real bitch that night. I do apologize. And the numbers of the
she showed up on short notice after big time Bryan Battle. Had to say, sorry, I got 5 media obligations today. I can't.
Talking about the Ultimate Fighter winner?
Yeah, next week. Exactly.
Oh, you mean Bryan Battle? Because I'm clairvoyant, so Bryan Battle's going to win.
I mean Brian Pooh Bear Battle, the guy. And by the way, everybody, we'll get back to the main event in a second. We're just going to kind of hang out with Dave for a second.
We just have one other GOAT here. Dave Van Auken of Fight Plan is here. Talk about Jillian. Can we talk about Jillian? Are we not allowed to talk about it?
Do we can in a second. But
all right, shut up. You know what? I'll shut up. I'll leave.
No, it's fine. We definitely I wanted to kind of
Aaron, you ready for this one? Dude, yeah. Jose Shorty Torres was like he put on a phenomenal performance today.
Yeah. He's been waiting to get back in there. What are your thoughts on Shorty? What can we expect from the Brave FC?
Unreal. So we went to Goat Shed Academy. It's one of the trendiest gyms in all salt.
An undefeated gym right now. Undefeated gym right now, correct?
Undefeated, I think so.
Undefeated?
So Goat Shed Academy. I've been watching quite a bit of them. They have yet to lose a fight since being a gym.
It's insane. So there's just killers and killers there. So I'm talking to like the head guy at the gym, dude, super nice. It was awesome. He was like super into with Fight Bananas, and he's like, oh man, do whatever you want, blah blah. He's getting me chairs, getting me waters. It was a great time. And they start sparring in an octagon. It's a legit octagon. They start going to work, and they got 24-year-old Yoel Romero lightweights there, and they're just hammering. They're just one after another against Jose Shorty Torres, and Shorty Torres puts the pace on all of them. It was incredible. I was super impressed. Dude, all three of them. David's a stud. Jillian's a stud. It was a great day. Great day.
Her fucking ground and pound is a thing of fucking beauty, that Jillian.
It's so unreal. So right before they spar, they did a couple techniques, and they were teaching some jit stuff, and you watching everyone else, and everyone else is you can see them, the gears are turning. You can see them trying to figure it out. Jillian is like water.
She really is a savage.
The leg, the arm, and then all of a sudden, she just has the teachers. She's water. She's amazing.
Yeah, and it's been
she's beautiful.
Yeah, she is. Beautiful. She is staying very active with regards to the grappling game, which is great. Won over Caitlin Chikagian last weekend, so that was nice. But I've been looking at, obviously I talk with Jillian a lot. She's definitely one of favorites of mine. One of my first interviews, one of my bigger supporters early on as I was getting started, and I met her in Boston after her loss to Macy Barber. Actually, that's where I met her, and I remember there was a way that she kind of just viewed that loss, and she wasn't laughing that she lost, but she was laughing at the adversity and that it was hard. And how sometimes when you're having a hard time, you just all you can do is laugh and not laugh at the mistake, but just be like, it sucks. What can I do? That kind of laugh. And
right.
She was just immediately focused, and I remember I just said all the wrong things. I was like, oh yeah, I bet against you tonight. I had a bad feeling against Macy. I was wasted. It was 3 a.m. at a Hyatt conference room where Molly McCann had just reached out to me, and because I recognized her when I walked into the hotel, I went, "Meatball!" And she like grabbed me, and she told the security guard, she's like, this guy and his mate, they can go wherever. And I don't know why she's Australian, but I suck at accents. But she's like, they're welcome with me anywhere. We walk into the back. Liam McCourt is back there. Liam McCourt, who's getting ready to fight in Wembley Stadium in the Bellator co-main event in England of the Venom Page.
Jessica Black Widow Borga from Lakeland, Florida.
Correct. Who Jillian is, don't worry, I was getting there. Jillian is helping prepare Jessica Borga for that fight with Liam McCourt. So, very interesting. But, I've definitely since then been very close with Jillian, and I can tell when she's starting to get ready for a fight. There's two very good indications when that girl is getting ready for a fight. She starts to get the guns back, because she doesn't do any strength and conditioning. She doesn't do any. Yeah, and put those away. Good Lord. We're scared. But she looks like she's getting ready to take a fight on any sort of notice. So the fact that she is getting ready, she's over at Goat Shed. I think that we're going to be breaking down a fight of Jillian's within the next couple months. And I think my one thing that has been a concern of mine with her is that she takes any fight. And that is great, but it also, she just has not had an easy go of it in the UFC here in 2 straight losses. So
yeah, we talked about that.
Savages, though, that's important to look at. And her ground and pound, even within those losses, has been elite. She is an exceptional wrestler. Jillian is a savage on the ground, and
right. But yeah, did you kind of cover that at all? How she's feeling with the 2 straight losses? What her mindset is?
We did actually talk about that. I think the next fight she's going to be very happy with the opponent, and maybe kind of, at least on the next one, rest against, hey, I'll fight Valentina Shevchenko on a week's notice. I think she's going to put down the Savage middle name just on the fight opponent. So I think her next fight opponent will be someone that will be a close matchup, betting odds. And, I think it's going to be very intriguing to see who's next. And the last little nugget I can leave for you guys is the 2 people I probably talk to at least the most with Fight Bananas is Jillian Savage Robertson and my dear good friend Felicia Phenom Spencer in Orlando, Florida. I'm like, why don't they talk okay, we're going to make that happen. So I think a Savage Spencer reunion is going to happen sooner than later.
Oh,
that's beautiful. These are 2 of the best Canadian female representatives of all time.
It's so funny. I said that to her. She's like, dude, we're born from Canada. We live in Florida. They love Florida. They both have multiple puppies. I'm like, dude, they should be best friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're both absolute sweethearts who murder.
Right? That's the other thing. Sweetheart savages.
And the thing I really do appreciate about Jillian, and I know that you got a family, you got to go, you're on the garage making time for us. We appreciate you popping in, man. I know as a good dad going into the dad garage there where, maybe occasionally he smokes some marijuana or a cigarette or something. Is that your pot? Is that like where you get to smoke pot too? Allegedly.
That's in the back porch.
Oh, you don't even get inside the garage for that? Like, she's like, you have to be all the way outside. We have children. Like, I'm so not ready to be a parent. Because I'm like,
dude, like sometimes this is the kid zone sometimes,
Oh
in here.
my
so,
God. See that? Yeah. What a good. This man was made to have 4 kids. This man was made to have 4 kids. Like,
by the way, Dave, I love your stories. Dave Van Auken, go check him out. He's got the best stories. What was that point?
But Dave, what is your fight of the night?
The UFC fight of the night?
Yep.
Come on, pick the right one, brother. Pick the right one.
Chase Sherman, Parker Porter.
Yes.
Wow. What?
Yes.
Am I right?
Fuck yes.
Well, first of all, Brawler Bible is still here, so I'm just going to point that out. Brawler Bible still here.
The numbers are exploding right now.
Dude, he's just saying he's here to like hang out with us now. He's just like, I'm not even here for the breakdown anymore. I'm here to hear them talk. Bunny is money.
I'm sure.
Brawler Bible would not be here if it wasn't for Bunny. So go ahead and Brawler Bible confirm to me that the reason you are here is because of Bunny. Just so I can put this to rest.
Aaron, who cares why he's here? The point is he's here. Let's not scare him.
My fight of the night is Brandon Royval versus Alexandre.
Wait. Which one? I feel like we had the same. Hang on.
Did.
I feel like
we did. You just wanted to cheer for whatever Dave said. We have the same fight of the night,
Fuck you, Aaron. Fuck you, Aaron. I'm trying to support our guests.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You said never again. See what you did?
The Bible guy is amazing, by the way. I'm really feeling connected.
Dude, wait till you guys really connect, man, because then you're
going tell him to hit me up.
Yeah.
No,
we're getting to the main event, Elliot.
We're second or third best fight of the night, but it's gonna be 15 minutes. A lot of crazy good techniques, very active, very good. No finishes there. That fight to me is going 15 minutes. Chase Sherman and Porter's going for 4 minutes, and they're just gonna throw into one man as an unconscious. It's gonna be crazy.
So I'm hoping
you think Sherman's going 4 minutes.
Arlovsky, Travis Brown. That's Sherman and Porter.
Dave, sometimes. Let me just get my notes
together. Wow. Oh, man. We got Brawler Bible's pick for fight of the night this is a pure Brawler Bible pick here. This is such a Brawler Bible pick.
I'm going with whatever, bro.
No. Roe Roberts, top 5 worst fighter in the world.
Whoa, in the world.
I'm sorry. What'd you say, Dave? You want to repeat that for the folks in back?
In the world.
Roe Roberts is one of the most overrated fighters in the world, and I got a little angst to pick with him.
You got Ignacio?
Oh yeah.
we both got Roosevelt.
What?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Roosevelt Roberts?
I'm really hoping he just gets it down and just grapples him to death.
I got my notes are all disheveled because Brawler Bible showed up, so now my notes are all fucking.
Good Mary.
Look at this.
Look at this. We got some quality from Brawler Bible here. Roe Roberts could marry his daughter.
That's the Instagram page I've ever seen.
Yeah, I really honestly do love this card. Actually, I think that not enough people are talking about it. The main event, which we're about to get to, and we'll kind of just make this our main event breakdown real quick here. We're a little over 2 hours in, so
doesn't matter. Brawler Bible showed up, and Dave Van Auken and Fight Banana showed up.
Yeah, we had so much.
We already had a guest fucking speaker, and now we got these two showing up. Yep. I'm all out of whack. I don't know what to say.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I had already teed up Kelvin Gastelum. I talked about Cannonier. Cannonier coming off a super, super tough decision loss to, my God, children. Hey!
Sorry, what?
Okay, what?
God! Yeah. Anyways, so as I was saying, in this fight, I feel that they're both coming off decision losses to Mr. Whitaker. What Whitaker did to Cannonier was much more damaging, though. Broke his arm in the first round, put him down several times. A lot of really tough shots in that fight. Cannonier, to me, is one of these fighters who, as they get into the 35, 36, 37 range as a middleweight, are going to see some diminishing returns, I do believe. I just think that Kelvin Gastelum finds a way to get this done. It's 5 rounds. There is a lot of time for him, I think, to wrestle in this one. I think he uses a similar game plan to the Heinisch game plan here. I think he has to avoid the leg kicks of Cannonier early. Those are my real worry. I think if Cannonier lands some good leg kicks early, takes away the spring from the double leg, takes away the movement of Kelvin, he's putting away Kelvin inside of 2 rounds. I think outside of this first 2 rounds, this becomes Kelvin's fight. Kelvin could easily lose the first 2 rounds and win this fight 3 rounds to 2. I just think there's something here for Kelvin. He's gonna craft it out. He's gonna use that wrestling. which I think we've all been saying for so long. By the way, I just hit Ante D'Elia at a plus 220 underdog hit. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody told me I was crazy. I told you that was the pick on the main card was Ante D'Elia over Dennis Goldstaff. But anyways, I digress.
And you should all have PFL on in the background. If you don't have that on your screen in the background,
it's in my in the room.
Yeah, I think Kelvin ekes it out. I just think Kelvin ekes it out. He is such a gritty veteran. I think he's got a lot left in his tank. That beating that Whitaker put on Cannonier was so bad that Cannonier honestly thinks that he I had to stop two dogs from humping each other. Sorry. Cannonier honestly
thinks a lot.
Yeah, Cannonier honestly thinks that the judges lost that fight for him and that he didn't lose that fight. What he's saying going into this week is a little bit concerning for me. I think that if he doesn't get that finish inside the 2 rounds, I have a hard time seeing him put together the 5-round finish here. I got Gastelum by decision. What is your thoughts?
So frustrating, Aaron.
Then we'll get to you, Dave. We'll finish with you. Bunny is annoyed. Unleash.
How can you go? It's just annoying to me that you're going with Kevin on this one because we have agreed on the most perfect matchups and we disagreed on the most perfect matchups. I don't understand how you could go against Cannonier on this one, but fine, whatever. Yeah, Gastelum's gonna get it done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the sass.
Why are you mad? Why are you mad then? We agreed.
I immediately get pissed off. I also feel like Cannonier is another one of those guys that, like, I feel like he should have more on his record and doesn't for some reason. Like, he's another one of those main cards that I feel I'm shocked that he's only 13-5. But regardless, I'm going Cannonier, and I'm happy to disagree with you on this one. I'm still a little unsure on how it's going to go. I still think it's going to go to the finish. I can't really put my finger on how it's going to be finished. But I'm going Cannonier, and I'm pretty confident on this one. I just don't see – I'm not interested in Gastelum. No disrespect at all.
Okay.
That's just my –
So we got a disagreement. I'm trying to convince Jillian to join us on the podcast right now.
Jillian, you picked my fantasy UFC team to win. Come on, join for me, babe. Join for me, babe.
We'll see. I'll say Dave's here. I'll see if that works. But yeah, Dave, what's your thoughts on this main event overall, and where are you leaning?
First and foremost, your breakdown of this fight was, I thought, beautiful. Like, it was spot on to a T. Aaron, it was really, really good. More people got to go subscribe. Aaron the Dog MMA channel is incredible. Great beautiful breakdown.
Beautiful stuff.
On it though, and you almost persuaded me. I almost flipped. I think Cannonier gets it done within the first round.
You're the only one I trust around here.
Thank you. He's just so much more athletic. Twitch, power, leg kick, body kick, head kick, counter. I think Cannonier gets him done within 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Cannonier's had this fight circled on the calendar for months. I think after the Whitaker loss, he was right there against Izzy. I think he wants to get back there. Everyone loses to Whitaker if it's not Izzy. So I think Cannonier gets it done within the first round.
Yeah, well, I just have to answer this from Brandon Lynch real quick. Aaron looks stoned. I promise you right now is the least stoned I've been all day. I've gone at least 2 hours and 18 minutes without smoking weed. So, like, this is as sober as I get. It's a good thing there's so many breakdowns to do because it gives me a chance during the day to knock it out. So just don't judge this headband. Don't judge the Cheech and Chong shirt that I wore for work today that says best buds stick together. Yeah. Which one of us on screen is the father of 4 children? Me or this guy?
Me. It's me.
Or this girl. God, I never can figure out how to point. But all right, well, you two are on Jared Cannonier. I'm on the Ultimate Fighter winner, soon to be as the same Ultimate Fighter winner as Bryan Battle next week.
Listen,
in Kelvin Gastelum. You guys have the favorite. Go ahead.
I love the Ultimate Fighter. I've watched since I was in high school. Again, it's just
Dave's getting yelled at by his wife.
Are you really? You gotta go.
Is he mad?
One of the kids is up.
Oh,
Might be back.
okay.
Bye, Dave.
Bye,
Bye, Dave. Go take care of yourself.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you, man. Hook up with the Brawler Bible. Brawler Bible.
I'm not trying to still there. I can't believe Brawler Bible showed up, by the way. Like, that shit is wild.
Are you still here? Dave, are you still here?
Post on Instagram fast enough. I can't believe he showed up. But
Dude, that is so. He showed up and then he like kept hanging out here and said that he liked.
I know.
By the way, everybody. Yeah. Dude, he's still here. He's like literally just like hanging out watching us.
I'm like, I'm trying not to simp because I'm not a simp, but
this is
I'll Brawler Bible any day of the week.
Yeah, I'm not a big simp supporter, but I'm gonna support your simping there.
Either way, I don't think tough. I'm not trying to discredit because I'm a big. Oh, he's saying bye to Dave, so he's still fucking here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey.
All right,
I'm
just
cool.
Be cool. Yeah, we're
cool,
both cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I'm not saying that the Ultimate Fighter isn't worthy of accolades. Like the Ultimate Fighter is huge, and I'm a big Brian Pooh Bear supporter.
Yes,
but
I know.
That shouldn't be the only threshold that you sort of gauge on. So like, I don't know. I need to hear you. I was blinded by Brawler Bible. I'm gonna need you to reassess what you just said about him winning on top.
So, about Kelvin Gastelum?
About Kelvin Gastelum, yes.
Yeah, so with Kelvin Gastelum, I look at his Ultimate Fighter victory. That obviously was very good, but it's what he's done since getting off the Ultimate Fighter. For one, to win the Ultimate Fighter, Uriah Hall was who he beat, and that was Uriah Hall is most dangerous. That was a really impressive win there. In that fight is where he uses wrestling quite a bit. Yeah. And, and Dapper Media is here, of course. It's a Bunny breakdown, so there's Dapper. Wondering where you were at. Welcome to the party. But
you missed the whole fucking thing. No big deal.
Yeah, that's what replay is for. So you got 2 hours of breakdown goodness in front of you, including an interview.
Dave Van Auken, though. But you're here to see that Brawler Bible's here, so.
Yeah, Brawler Bible is here. Dave's here. Fernando Padilla's been in here. Fabio Sharon's been in here. Jillian Robertson is lurking right now. She says she's too nervous to comment because she doesn't want to troll. So
that's such a lie. She's not nervous of any. Nothing makes that bitch
just
nervous.
Said she has social anxiety. But
allegedly, she's such a social star. I don't even want to hear it.
But it's just like you look at the guy. This is why I'm picking Kelvin Gastelum at the end of the day. Since he's been in the UFC, he's just faced nonstop good opponents. Rick Story, Jake Ellenberger, Tyron Woodley, Nate Marquardt, Neil Magny, Johnny Hendricks, Tim Kennedy, Vitor Belfort, Chris Weidman, Michael Bisping, Jacare Souza, Israel Adesanya, Darren Till, Jack Hermanson, Ian Heinisch, Robert Whitaker. That is called.
I'm about to switch my pick after that list.
that is just an absurd. And yes, he's losing some of those, but he's also winning a lot of these as well. That is an absurd run to go on here, and he just doesn't say no to any fights. You look at Jared Cannonier. Yeah, he had a win over Anderson Silva, finished it with those leg kicks. But besides that, what's his best win?
And what year was that? But what year was that he beat
2019.
Silva?
It was like the second to last.
On his way out. So I'm honestly about after you just fired off that list of people and we had mentioned earlier in the podcast, you have to look at who these people have lost again. Mm-hmm. A lot
and how they're losing those fights. I mean,
he's lost to some top tier guys.
And for example, his lost Israel Adesanya, it was 2-2 going into the 5th round.
Which is ludicrous, dude. Ludicrous in someone like Izzy. Come on, dude.
So this is another 5-round fight. I will give this to Cannonier. He has the ability to finish anybody. Kelvin is very tough, but he can finish him. But it's this one where I see a little bit of a Homer Simpson defense from Kelvin potentially, where he can take all those shots after 10 minutes. He's still coming forward for 15 more.
It reminds me of a Dominic Reyes situation where, like, Reyes is discounted because he's had so many losses. But if you look at who he has lost to, he's only lost to top-tier people. So,
including a win.
Long term, I'm about to switch my pick to Gastelum because who you just fired off the people who lost to, Which
Okay. So you're going with Gastelum now.
no, I said I'm about to. I didn't say yet. We're not done with the discussion yet.
So my pick is still Kelvin Gastelum. And it's Kelvin Gastelum by decision, 5 rounds.
Wow. I'm still going with Cannonier. And you know what? But again, because I don't win, because I don't bet, it's a win-win for me. I'm happy with no matter who wins. But I am going to roll with Cannonier because I've loved him the longest.
Absolutely.
I've been with him since high school. You know what I mean? Like,
first of all, I just want to point it out one more time. Brawler Bible, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your channel or run your, run your page at all. But I think that Bunny deserves a serious shout out. Bunny was not supposed to be on this breakdown as of this morning at 7 a.m. By 9:30 a.m., I decided to, after finding out that Bryan had some media obligations, I decided to reach out to Bunny. Not even 30 seconds later, she was signed up, immediately watching tape, additional tape to what she watches already. Notebook is filled up, and we just went 2.5 hours on this breakdown. Brought on the guests. You brought on, we had double-digit viewers. We're at 11 viewers right now. Thank you, everybody who's joining us. I get it. Some people think 11 doesn't seem like a lot, but that is a lot for me. There's fights going on right now. We're 2.5 hours into a breakdown on a Thursday night. Seriously, it's been short notice queen. I mean, it's a fact. I hope you realize how much you just made our night Brawler Bible. Seriously, I'm a huge fan of yours. And I don't think you know how much those words mean to Bunny. Maybe you do after that puking and convulsing. But yeah, she's seriously she's the best. Everybody probably here is already following Boston Comments. If you're not, though, follow Boston Comments on Instagram. But before we say goodnight to everybody, anything else you gotta say, Bunny? What a breakdown.
You guys, anybody who showed up, I appreciate it. Fabio Charant, thank you for showing up. Short notice, appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with my potted mouth and extremely loud screaming. Brawler, you shit, dude. I can't believe you showed up tonight.
Seriously. I seriously appreciate it. That's how much of a legend. She's got the Clown Goodell in the background, of course. She's got Nate Diaz back there, the Clown Goodell back. I mean,
I got all my boys. I got Colby back here. I got Colby, MJ, Diaz, and the Bunny. And this fucking idiot.
She's fucking money. But for Aaron the Dog of Aaron the Dog MMA, for Bunny of Boston Comments, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next week because Bunny will be joining me again on the UFC Breakdown show. Bryan is in the finale, and it is next week, so we'll be breaking down his fight as well as the rest of the card here. For Aaron, for Dave, for Fabio Charant, and for Bunny of Boston Comments, thank you all so much. This channel has meant the world for me. If it wasn't for this person right here, this channel would not exist. That is Bunny. She is the reason this channel encouraged me to go out on my own, and it's been better than ever. Brawler Bible, shout out to you. Keep taking care of each other out there. Cash those bets, everybody. Have a tremendous